Okay.
Here we
Okay,
go.
we're calling to order the Zoning Board of Appeals regular meeting for Thursday, October 16th. It's at 6:32 now. And present we have
Kathleen Tracy, alternate.
Michaela Pearson, alternate.
Stephanie Mickle.
Nancy Hutchinson, chair.
Kip Cotson.
Stephen Ditz.
Sylvia Rakowska, counsel.
Eric Navlenius, coordinator and CEO.
Absent is Russ Fogg, alternate Brian Cole, and ZBA clerk Amy Hewitt. So seated for today's meeting will be myself, Kip Cotson, Stephanie Mickle, Steve Dix, and Kathleen Tracy. So to facilitate an efficient review, I'd like to give some instructions to the applicants. Please present the evidence that an unusual and unnecessary hardship exists based on strict application of the zoning regulations due to some peculiar condition of the property itself, and that the condition does not generally affect other properties in the district. Also, the evidence that the variances requested are the minimum necessary to alleviate the unusual hardship and allow reasonable use of the property. Whether any reduction in legal pre-existing nonconformity is proposed, and the evidence that the variances requested are in harmony with the intent and purpose of the zoning regulations and the comprehensive plan of zoning. And for coastal site plan review applications, please address the Connecticut DEP comments. And for applications reviewed by the town engineer, please address comments in the engineer's report. So the first case tonight is case 25-10, 15 Liberty Street. They're requesting variances to construct an addition over the existing attached garage and the street line setback on a non-conforming R10 lot in the AE12 flood zone. Joseph and Mary Ann Diorio applicants. The variances requested are to sections 8.87, minimum street setback, 25 feet required, 9.31, no enlargement of a non-conforming structure unless a large portion complies with the regulations. And just to clarify, the town building official determined that the original plan submitted exceeded the 50% substantial improvement threshold in a flood zone. So on October 9th, the applicants submitted revised plans and cost estimates dated October 8th and October 5th, respectively. So with that, please present your application.
Good evening. For the record, my name is Joe Runn, professional engineer of Indigo and Old Saybrook. As Nancy just eloquently mentioned, this was on the agenda for last month too, but there were some construction cost estimates that needed to come in to show that the improvements that were being made to this house, since it's in the flood zone, were below the 50% threshold of FEMA and a substantial improvement, whether or not the house had to be fully lifted to FEMA or not. So since the last meeting, the estimates were done. They were reviewed with the town. They came in over the 50% actually. So Dave Noe is here with us. He's the project architect. He worked hard to work with the applicants who are also with us over here, pink and black here, in that row, the Diorio. So worked hard with them to pare down what was being proposed, remove the proposed second floor, and this all just happened very recently. Remove the second floor, redo the estimates, re-present those estimates to Town Hall. The building official confirmed that now we are below the 50% threshold.
They did. I haven't seen that communication.
Okay, it should be in the file. If not, I can certainly go off. But
And I think Eric mentioned it in his staff review too, right?
I know that you submitted a revised, updated cost estimate. I didn't see
the building official has confirmed.
Okay, okay, you
the new
confirm
numbers
that.
are accurate and therefore below the 50%.
Okay.
So
Great.
I don't know that I got something specifically in writing from him to that effect. He basically came in and said, yes, these are accurate figures. So
But you're stating that for the record.
I am stating for the record that I did speak to Mark Whalen, the building official. He reviewed the updated plans and the updated figures associated with the plans and concurs that the new figures accurately reflect the cost that he anticipates it being, and that figure is below the 50% figure.
Thank you very much.
Okay?
So with that, usually I like to go through the site plan first and then into the building plan, but because of how this kind of panned out, I would like Dave to go through the new building plans and show you the differences that he made from the original application, show
Yep.
you how he pulled down the house and how we pulled it in, and we even need less variances than we originally asked for because there's no second story or a limited second story. So let Dave show you the house.
Yeah,
go-
that's a confusion, because you said that you eliminated the second story, but the plans say there's a second story, so it's a little confusing, so I really appreciate you explaining that.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's why I want to clear that up. The site plan still shows that because there wasn't even time, after this was done, we just got a day or two ago from the building official confirmation, so we just
Yeah.
got that approval to say, yes, fine, you can go forward. So this still shows that, so we can cross that off, but that's why I wanted Dave to show you the plans, the building plans that have been updated, and he could leave those with you as an exhibit as well.
Yeah, we're gonna need to have that.
Yeah, so is that what we've seen by email? I guess,
I don't think we've seen this so far.
okay, this is new, so this is an exhibit.
Yes.
Yeah, so I have,
This will be an
Okay.
exhibit. Yeah, that's why I wanted him to go through
Okay.
that first, to show you the changes. You want to use this or you want to?
yeah, do you want me to put
No
these
wonder
up or do
I
you want me
should-
to hold?
Why don't you put it
Slide
up,
it in the middle.
or
Okay.
what if, can people see it better if it's here?
No, but I need.
It's better if it's
Oh,
up.
okay.
Up and then slide it toward the middle a little bit.
Yeah, thank you. Good.
So to start, or I guess I'll briefly explain what we initially had for the plan and then what we changed. So initially, we were gonna have a set of stairs that came up the back here
Yeah.
to a story above the existing garage, and that was gonna
Can
become.
I ask, what's the date of this plan?
This is 1008. I think that's the old number of the original submission.
Okay, I want to make sure we're,
7-2.
That's the site plan. You need the architectural
Yeah.
plan.
I should probably, why don't I put today's date on this?
well, let me just, I just make sure that we're all looking at the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little confusing, because we also have something else in here. This is
So those, I feel like would be the old.
Yeah, that's what you're looking at. Kip, I mean,
I finally headed in the right direction here. Okay.
That's February 8th, that's not the current
But this
version.
is.
This is old, that's old.
Okay.
Okay, but
That's all, Yeah, that's all. None of it looks like that.
So this is,
That's existing.
yeah, but it's dated the 10th, October 8th. So is it changed from October 8th?
Let me just see what you have there. Oh, no, you have the correct one. That's the new version.
So this is what was emailed around yesterday.
Yep.
okay, it's yesterday, then we're good, okay.
All right,
Yeah,
So
so
it's
that's
not
the
an exhibit.
updated plan that we're presenting
but
tonight.
but I don't think we have that.
No, you don't have this
Okay,
one.
that's what I was looking at.
Okay. All right, so we're gonna put this back in the folder, L-M-N and O. And now we're going to make this,
This
you
is
have
the
more than
same.
one copy?
Yeah, that's the same copy.
So this is exhibit 1.
Do I have to note anything on that?
What that is?
I will
think
just a second. Okay, exhibit 1, and today's date is
16.
16.
Do I have to note anything on that?
Yeah, and we're just about to put it, we're gonna say for the record that, why don't you describe what it is?
This is a diagrammatical building section through the new, I don't want to call it an addition, but through the new roof line.
It's an elevation drawing, right?
Section.
Section.
So it shows top of walls, ceiling heights, and then that this attic space is in
And
fact
less than
below
6
6
feet.
feet.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that aligns with the plans that were submitted on the 8th.
Yep, that aligns with these new plans that you
Okay.
have it there as well.
All right, thank you very much.
Okay.
That's a good question.
I know, so this is, yes, I wanted to show this is part of what we want to explain to you guys in
Okay,
terms of what we're doing. So,
thank you very much.
Yep, no problem.
It might be helpful too, because that's what's proposed now, what was proposed before. Might be
Yeah,
helpful
that I
just
don't
to-
know. I don't think I have those. But
Okay, they have
It's
that,
in
that's
there.
this.
Well, we just
No,
wanna look
no,
at what's,
no,
let's just look at what
What you're
what
proposing.
you
Okay.
want.
Okay.
So what, in,
This is the one for the trial here, right?
Yeah, that's fine.
That's,
Plot plan.
okay. All right,
good?
thank you.
Okay. So yeah, in general, what we're proposing to do is take the existing garage space. There was a small portion back here that was a bedroom and bathroom. So basically taking the garage and that existing bedroom, bathroom, in making it living space. So we've converted that garage in keeping the existing foundation, building a floor, structural wood joists and a floor plan, and then a new bathroom, a new bedroom, and then an office space. So we've essentially taken that existing footprint and made it all livable. And then what we did is we took away what was gonna be a room above that. So we took that space out.
Existing right now is two bathroom,
Bathrooms, there's a
existing now.
1.5.
Yes.
One
One
and
and
a
a
half.
half,
One and a half, and it's gonna go to, you would like it to go to
Oh, it's
two?
1.5 again.
Still 1.5.
It's still 1.5.
We are, yeah, we would have a washer and dryer in here, but yeah, 1.5 baths.
Okay, so it's keeping the same number of rooms, it's just the space is wider, taking over the garage space.
Correct, yeah. What we did is we increased this family room, living room area, so that gets larger. This bedroom gets a little bit more usable, and now there's an office playroom in here.
And you're fine with the condition that stay open space, not a bedroom?
This here, oh, this, yes, yeah.
Okay.
So again, we took away,
Bathroom count stays the same or expands?
bathroom count stays the same, bedroom count stays the same.
So it's 4 bedrooms, 1.5 baths, before and after.
Plus an office.
Yeah.
That's the
Plus an
addition,
office.
that's the additional.
Has Legislate confirmed they don't consider that office space a bedroom? Because I'm not, you revised this recently, I don't know if the legislature has seen this yet.
But yeah,
There's a 5-foot cased opening on that with no door, right?
yeah, so it
So
looks like
it's
they're
not-
maintaining the condition, yeah. So the condition was floor plans from 360 Design dated 1/4/25 with a renovation date 2/18/25. I guess show an office on the first floor. The office shall not have a door or barn enclosure style door and must remain with a 5-foot opening.
Which is what shows on.
And a walkthrough shall be required prior to issuance of a certificate of completion occupancy. Yeah. I guess the point is, if we made a condition that you get final Leslie Health Department approval based on this plan, that would be an okay condition for the board.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So that's our intention here on the first floor. We're gonna have a gabled roof above this space. And again, we took out a dormer and we took out staircases that were gonna go up there. And then as a result, the elevations, essentially just a turned gable towards the street side that goes all the way back. There's no windows up here. We just have louver vents, so it's really a straightforward space. This is truly an attic. I know there was some questions about that.
Yeah.
And that's why I have this Exhibit A. So the Exhibit A shows that this space here has a ceiling height of 5'11 3/4. And that's at the steepest, that's at the highest point.
Yeah.
So it just goes from there down. And it's really for storage of really fishing rods and summer stuff that the owners have a lot of.
Okay.
So
That's very helpful.
That
There's no
access
windows,
point?
it's not, that's not.
I'm sorry.
Access point?
This would be like a pull down set of
Looks like
stairs,
a
like an attic access.
Uh-huh.
Where's that access?
It'll just be on the first floor as like a pull down attic stair. Somewhere probably in this room. In this
Oh,
area.
okay. All right. That answered my biggest question, so thank you for providing this and making that explanation.
Excellent. Thank you.
I guess I don't want to interrupt your conversation, but so we'll just say that Exhibit 1 is the elevation crosshatch of the new area.
Cross-section.
Cross-section, okay. Showing that the new, so it's staying one story.
Correct.
Yeah,
Because it's not above 6 feet.
that's right. So it's not a half story.
It's not a 1.5, right?
So
Right.
that gets back to your plan, because your plan listed as 1.5 stories.
So
And
that's previous. That has not been updated.
but it will be updated.
Of course.
And so a condition of approval would be that you have an updated plan with an updated zoning table that reflects.
Yeah,
The
really the only
updated-
change is this dormer goes away, because we're working more or less on the same footprint of the house. The footprint of the house isn't changing, so that dormer goes away. And that's really the only change. So the zoning table, like you said, showed dimensions to the dormer, but that will,
Yeah, I
Well-
did have one other question though. So you have 3 street setbacks and 1 rear setback. So the rear setback and front setback exceeds the 50-foot width of the property. So,
did
yeah.
they overlap in this case? They may have.
But you drew it as 12 feet instead of 30 feet.
Let's ask Eric. So
I asked that
a
because
lot with 3 fronts. Is
Well-
it a other yard setback or is it a rear yard setback?
Well, let me look at my regs here and give you the definitive answer. So-
I brought
Corner
them
lots
up.
are a little more clear. Having roads on 3 sides are a little unique.
Okay, so,
I don't
My
think there's
first.
I think,
So 2 sides are a problem. I mean, in this case, 2 are overlapping. On Liberty Street.
I
If
think
yeah, and I believe Liberty Street is a town road.
it says I have it here, Eric.
oh, okay, what section?
No, it's a private road.
It's the definition 219, yard minimum required rear.
Okay.
But again, it talks about corner lot. A yard between any principal building and rear lot line existing the full length of the lot between the lot side lines measured by the minimum horizontal distance between any such building and rear lot line. Or in the case of a corner lot, a similar yard, you got it?
Yeah, but you're talking about a corner lot, this is not a corner lot, so I think we're gonna go with the fact that the other one would be a side yard setback then, so.
Why isn't that a double corner lot?
Yes, right, corner.
It's very
Like,
confusing
it's
because
extra
Well,
there's another
extra corners.
example coming up soon where you have a rear yard and not a side yard. Yeah.
You know, I mean, ultimately, again, as you're seeing here, with 3 fronts of 25 and then a rear yard of 30, you're gonna have
No.
nothing left in the center. So
Nothing.
to give the 4th wall, in essence, 12 would be equivalent to what any other lot has on at least 2 other sides here. So I'm comfortable saying that is a 12-foot setback as opposed to a 30-foot setback. Again, otherwise you end up with nothing, so.
Yeah,
In
yeah.
Old Lyme, because I know Nancy, I know the application that Nancy's talking about. So in Old Lyme, a true corner lot like
Yeah.
that one on
Yeah.
Seaspray, your regulations say if you have a true corner lot, then you have 2 other ones. So one is a side, and the one with the longest frontage, the opposite of the one with the longest frontage is a rear yard for a corner lot.
The rear yard is opposite the,
Longest.
The
not
longest
the
frontage.
longest front, it's the front, it's whatever the front is, if it's
Well,
the
you have 2
address.
fronts
Yeah,
on a
the
corner
sideways
lot.
is-
So
I know, but it's
usually
the
there's a shorter
address.
one and a longer one.
Oh, the
It says-
address, that would make sense.
Yeah.
Actually.
Usually the address is on
The
the
yard
just like
between
in
any
that
principal
case, it's
building and the
long
lot
one.
frontage line extending the full width of the lot and the lot sidelines measured by minimum distance. Yeah, and in the case of a corner lot, a similar yard extending along all streets, no point shall be required, the front lot be less than the width of the, whatever. So, but I guess at a corner lot, the rear yard is extending across the side of the lot opposite the street on which the principal building has its street address or is otherwise designated front of the lot.
Right.
Not necessarily the distance, but it's like, what is the street address?
Yep, and on that one is Seaspray and it's
Yeah,
off the
yeah,
Seaspray.
yeah.
Right, so then we have rear yard and side yard.
Whatever the front is, most likely the longest.
But here, you don't really have a true, what's your opposite of a street line? Because you have 3 of them.
Right.
So,
But you want this to be rear, is that true?
Well, no, I'm just
no, that's
asking.
side and that's what Eric just
That's what I'm
confirmed
saying,
that.
because I have 3 fronts, They're saying the fourth side is the side.
Ultimately, Joe, what
Why is it
footprint are
not-
we talking about? I mean, this is, you guys are saying, I understood within the same footprint?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
So it's just a question of
Yeah, it does it.
higher in the same footprint, is it?
Are you requesting a variance from your rear yard or your side? That's really all we're talking about.
Yeah, right, I mean, we just wanna make it legal.
Well, the side yard doesn't need a variance because it's not in the side yard. It would be if it's a rear yard. But if whatever the zoning enforcement officer says
I'm
it
comfortable
is.
with calling it a side yard at this point in time, so.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, so then, yeah, it is only the front yard.
Why isn't, I mean, just to be, I mean, if the address is Liberty, why isn't it a backyard? If the address is Liberty.
Because it's not a corner lot.
Because it's not a corner lot, it's a lot with three fronts. It is not,
All right.
It's not really
I'll let
addressed
it
in
go.
the regulations, so
Yeah.
it's his
It's a U lot.
interpretation.
It's
mean,
not covered in the
Yeah.
U for undetermined.
It's still, whatever you read about the address, but that would be
I
the
mean,
corner.
I have another lot in town
Yeah.
that's literally in the center of a cul-de-sac, and every side of that is front.
Sure is.
So,
Wow. That's a fun one.
Okay, but it's your call.
my call on this is that we can treat that as a side yard for purposes of tonight's
Thank
hearing.
you, I just want to be consistent.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
It's computer, it's unique.
So anyway, so then if you update this plan, you said you were going to get rid of this.
It's essentially the dormer just goes away and then any dimensions to that dormer. get eliminated.
Oh, this is the shed that's disappearing.
That's over the property line,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
correct.
Okay,
So that
and then you're going to
non-conforming-
change this to be 1 story instead of 1.5 stories.
Correct.
And you do have a disappearing shed? Is that
Yeah,
what you
yeah.
said? Yeah.
One's a non-conforming shed
Yep.
on a, and one,
So
they're putting in a
Reduction
new,
of a pre-existing non-conformity.
yes, as a shed.
Yep, we're putting in a new shed, but we're making the new
Oh,
shed
elimination, yeah,
conforming.
that's better.
It's elimination of a non-conformity.
Yeah, 'cause that shed is a conforming shed, given its size and distance from the property line.
The new
The
one,
new one is,
the
yes.
old one was not.
That's correct. So you're losing the non-conforming shed, you're putting in a conforming shed that does not need a variance.
Okay,
And the only other reduction that's in here too, I don't need to go through all this, I think we discussed most of everything that's described in here already. But because the roof line is changing, we're bringing in that white eave right on the front. So
Yeah.
we're still doing that with the new roof line, so
say
that,
that again?
Dave can review it.
Okay.
The eave is, the overhang is being shortened here, so we get more of a distance from the street line on this side and the Liberty side to the actual edge of the eave, which counts as the closest part of the building in this case because the house is non-conforming.
Okay, thank you.
So that's the other reduction. You probably could show.
Yeah, we had reduced
show
there's a deep soffit here, which used to exist over that garage portion. And as a rake, on a rake side of the house,
Oh.
we've reduced that
Because the
drastically.
eave
Right,
is
right.
going this way.
Yeah, so this would be
Yeah.
about a 3-inch overhang
Right.
versus what was, I think it was over a foot, I think it was like 14 to 16 inches
Okay.
existing. Yep.
Yeah, so that's listed in under section 5, that's listed going from 13.0 to 13.9, so almost a foot.
Is that on the Liberty side
That's on the
then?
Liberty side.
Right.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
And our FAR hasn't changed, right, Joe, on this project?
Right, yeah, because there's no second floor. No change in footprint and no second floor. There was a change in FAR before in the previous application, but no longer.
Okay, you're gonna give me the updated version of that table there, that's now gonna address the,
We'll update this site plan.
He's going to do the
Yeah,
whole site
so
We'll
plan.
take this off.
and
We'll
again,
do a revision and we'll update.
that's what we're looking for, make sure the table's updated to conform with what you.
And that'll be conditioned on approvals that be submitted, this
Of course.
updated.
Yeah,
plan
we'll
for
get
the-
that to you this week. That's
Okay,
very simple for us to do. We just, all this was fresh.
yeah.
So you're gonna give a plan to Eric that
This plan.
fits what you're describing tonight?
Yep.
That's, the thing will be okay.
Yeah, because Nancy needs to sign that version of the plan.
Yeah.
It'll be revision 2, because this was revision 1, and it'll just be with the eliminated dormer and then the updated zoning table, assuming the dormer is gone. Everything else stays the same.
It's, yeah, and the floors. Okay.
Yeah,
So-
the floor area, since there's no second floor. So if there are no other questions, I have some letters of support that,
I actually just have a question.
Okay.
Just out of curiosity. We've been focused on the building. What is the plan for cars, for vehicles? I know it's a pretty large sized lot, right?
Yeah, it's good size lot.
I drove past it earlier, so
yeah,
I was just wondering what.
So the owner is
what's
here
going on.
too, but we do have the driveway
Okay.
that is 25 feet wide. So you could easily fit 3 cars across, which will be normal for the house. And then we also had this area here before that we were actually widening the driveway with crushed stone. No, I'm sorry, opposite. So the driveway currently is even wider than the 25 feet, and we were removing some of that impervious asphalt.
Oh, okay, great.
So we have we have fairly deep, all the way through. The up to the property line is almost the length of a car, and then we have this extra length. There's not really enough for 2 deep unless they're smaller cars, but we do have enough for 3 across.
Okay, terrific.
And I think one other point is that your applicants understand that with the cost that you have now, that if there's any additional improvements or storm damage repairs within the next 5 years, and that combined with our current costs, that they will have to make their house FEMA compliant.
Correct. They are aware of that in the next 5 years. They haven't maxed it out. There is some left, so they haven't maxed it out to the 50%.
But I'm just saying, but if it does in the next 5 years, combined with these costs,
They understand that.
you know that. Okay, just so you're aware. Okay, we'll make sure.
Thank you for that clarification. But yeah, that was a big discussion with them about, getting the estimate, getting it FEMA compliant so that you can review it in that regard, that if anything happens and it puts you over that threshold, at that time the house has to be elevated.
Okay, just to make sure that everyone's aware.
Okay. So letters of support. I know that you had 1 or 2 of these because they were forwarded to me by the town. But I just want to make sure that you have them. So there's one from
Helpful.
Josephine Eminian. Josephine Eminian. So do you have that one? It's just a brief email. It's short enough. I'll
As of
just read it and then
Read
I'll
it
take
in
a
the
copy.
record.
It's
Nothing
an
new
email.
today. There's
So it says, to the town of Old Lyme, ZBA, we are Josephine and Ronald, say it again? Eminian, okay. I don't know why these are always hard to pronounce, people's names. We don't get Smith or Johnson or anything like that. We live
I
at...
don't see it in the file, so it's good that you're reading it.
We live at 16 Liberty Street. Our neighbors of 32 years are Mary Ann and Joseph Diorio, who are with us this evening. We're fully supportive of the renovations they are proposing. We have reviewed the plans and welcome the improvements. It will enhance our neighborhood and our property values. Thank you, Joseph and Ron Eminian. Close enough.
And that address is,
16 Liberty Street.
okay,
There's a copy of that one.
should I mark this as an exhibit just in case? Yeah.
I know that you have Eric's letter already, and we talked about most of that stuff throughout. We have another one.
Wait a second, exhibit number 2 is a letter of support from Josephine and Ron and Minion.
Minion.
32 years.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna
Too many
add
eyes
that
in
to
it.
the file. So I didn't see it in the file, so that's good you read that.
Thank you. There's another one that I know that you don't have because it just came in today. So this one is Anthony and Lindsay LaJudas.
address? Oh.
42 Washington Avenue, Old Lyme.
So that would be where?
Washington Avenue is here. This is 54 next door, so are they up
They're
or
across,
down?
you take a right at the first house. They
Okay,
walk by our house every day.
okay.
To whom it may concern, we are writing this letter on behalf of Joe and Mary Diorio. Thank you for having a name I can pronounce. In favor of the plans they have and intend to bring to life their home at 15 Liberty Street, right around the corner from our house. As local homeowners, we always like the idea of beautification as it does increase neighborhood value overall in the beach communities, especially as year-rounders can appreciate any kind of improvements to people's personal property. We remodeled our home in 2013 and still receive compliments and gratitude from our own surrounding neighbors. Allowing them to commence work and bring their vision to life only benefit our neighborhood overall. They are great stewards of this area during the summer, and their growing family deserves it. Bo and Lindsay.
Okay, so this is Exhibit 3.
For you. Now the next one I have, I know you have a copy of, the handwritten one.
Yeah,
Okay,
And this is the most unique letter I've seen
yeah.
in my 21 years of doing this.
okay, here's another.
So I don't have to read it because you do have a hard copy in your file. It was emailed directly to the town. But there is no one by this name in the town of Old Lyme.
I couldn't find it
It's a
either.
baseball player.
Wow! She did her research.
I couldn't
she
find it
Googled it.
either.
So Columbus Avenue, there's no number Columbus Avenue.
Yeah.
So we don't know exactly where these people live. But Googling that name, and it's a very unique name, is a Major League Baseball player on the Toronto Blue Jays. So we don't know the legitimacy or anything of this, but we
Can
found
I
it
ask
very
her,
interesting.
Was this just dropped off at the town hall? Do you know? Because I couldn't find this name
Yeah.
in
You ever
the
seen it?
GIS either.
The information is not even accurate, they're talking about an extra bedroom, when
Yeah,
there's not.
Yeah.
it was dropped off to Craig in person at the front counter, so.
Yeah, it sounds like it was based on the original plans that had
Yeah.
the second floor and so forth. And we don't know the address. We don't know the person that wrote it, the author. I mean, I can't imagine that an MLB player drafted a letter handwritten. So I don't know. I mean, take it for what it's worth. But
Yeah, okay. We'd like to know where next to the house it is. If we can't define where that is.
yeah, we don't. It's Columbus Avenue. It's what's written on here. We don't. Columbus Avenue is a long north-south road, and we don't know where it is.
Okay, but we have that in the file. We don't need to add it. Do we need to read it in the record?
It's in the
Okay.
record.
You might want to note that they're claiming they're adding another bedroom as
Right.
one of the complaints, and that's not
And they're
true.
not,
Well,
yeah.
over the garage, the second floor, there was
Yeah,
an
they
old
say
letter,
In-law
old letter.
apartment above the garage, which is
Which is
not
now it's going to be an attic.
right.
Yeah, okay.
5 foot 11 and 3
So-
quarters.
All right. Thank you very much.
Okay, I think in the application, I think the only thing I think we understand the hardship, but for the record, I'll just read this
good.
into it. Strict application to the regulations would not allow the addition to be constructed. Again, the application was written originally and submitted originally with the original plans. So the addition is the changed roof line, okay? The subject property is surrounded on 3 sides by streets, including 2 town roads. Liberty and Columbus are town roads, according to the town road list. So the Columbus Avenue setback increases from 25 to 30 feet due to its width. Let's see, due to a substandard right-of-way width of 40 feet versus 50 feet. Liberty Street
Yeah.
has a 50-foot already, so that doesn't have to be increased. But Columbus is 40 foot wide, so we get an extra 5 feet on our side. No variances on that side, but it's just a point of information. Additionally, approximately 83% of the lot is encumbered by 3 street line setbacks and the 1 other yard setback. So as we talked about before, you take away that yard setback and 3 streets, and you're left with only 17% of the land available that can be built on without a variance.
17, what'd you say?
17%, yeah, 83% is encumbered. And then, as aforementioned in 3 above, this lot is unique since it is a small non-conforming lot of record. It has 3 street frontages, as we mentioned before. We haven't really seen that much, including 1 narrow street encumbrance, and approximately, again, repeating, 83% of the lot is encumbered. And before, we talked about the proposed elimination. The shed that's over the property line presently will be removed, so that negative distance to a property line will go away. That non-conforming other yard setback issue will go away. The new shed being replaced is 5 feet from the line, which conforms to your regulation for an 8x12 shed. And the front yard on Liberty Street, that because of that eave overhang, as explained by Dave, with that eave overhang being reduced in that area with that change in roof line, that goes from 13.0 feet to 13.9 feet, so we have a 0.9 foot improvement on that side to the roof line.
Okay, so we discussed the hardship, we discussed the reduction of legal pre-existing nonconformity, and you're saying this is a minimum reasonable use of the property because you're only adding an attic.
Of course.
Everything
Yeah, and
else,
the
you're
house renovation.
maintaining one story.
Maintaining one story, yep, and it's within the existing footprint.
It's the number of bedrooms, same number of bathrooms.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
And then, of course, the elimination of the side yard setback and
Yeah, we got that.
the slight increase. in the
All right,
front yard.
and then the conditions of approval is you get final lead health approval based on the updated site plans, which you will submit an updated site plan with the revisions that we discussed and an updated zoning table.
Yep.
Did we have another condition of approval?
I don't
I
know.
don't think so. And we did discuss that if it in the future exceeds 50%, they'll have to raise the property.
Of
They're
course.
aware of that. Let's see. So the only other thing is intent with, and is it in harmony with intent and purposes of zoning regulations? The only thing that gives me pause is increasing living habitable space in a flood zone and working so hard to stay below the 50%. But I think that it's a very minor addition, and it's in the same footprint, and it's pretty much minimum use, I think. A lot of reasonable use.
I mean, what's already there is living space. They're just removing the garage as a use and making an attic for what the
Yeah.
garage
Yeah.
did for them and just slightly expanding the living space, so.
Yeah, and it's the same, and this is where you get the same number of bedrooms and
Bathrooms,
Bathrooms,
same
yeah.
footprint.
same footprint. Okay. You're catching some of this, Stephanie? Thanks. We don't have our clerk today. And we have 2 letters of support from the neighbors. All right. Well, we haven't started deliberations yet, but I'm just making sure we all have the same page before we get.
Yep.
Does anybody else have any questions for the applicant?
I have a chimney to remain.
Yeah, there's a chimney that comes right up. Maybe that chimney exists actually. Actually, we're taking that chimney out, right, Jeff? We're taking that chimney out, I'm sorry.
Use that.
Because it was coming right through the middle of where that new room is.
Uh-huh.
So it was an existing fireplace, so that chimney will actually come out.
Okay.
Should that be revised, or is that?
I mean, it shows in our drawings.
Oh, it
Those are
does.
the existing conditions.
Oh, those are the existing.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then in our proposed, it
It's
goes
gone.
away here.
Okay, good. All right, it is gone in your plans.
Yeah.
It
All right.
doesn't factor into the variances at all, so.
No, but it's also, the final plans
I
have it
don't
gone.
know, show it, but to the extent the narrative said it was there, the final
Okay.
plans do not.
Can I say, are you also decreasing impervious driveway?
Yes.
We are.
Right, also, you
Yeah.
said, right? So I'm gonna add that.
That's a
Okay.
plus.
That's a plus. You do have more parking of cars outside, but you have plenty of space for that.
Mhm.
Okay.
So you can still park on the property, no street parking.
Yeah. All right, so with that in mind, if no one has any more questions, would anybody like to make a motion to close? Oh, God.
Oh, yeah.
Would anybody like to
more.
speak in favor of this application? Would anybody like to speak opposed to this application? Would anybody like to just comment on this application? Okay. Now. would anybody like to make a motion to close the public hearing for case 25-10, 15 Liberty Street?
I'll make a motion.
So that was Steve, and that was
Well, I think it got.
Kip got there first?
Either.
20
Okay.
years from now, no one's gonna keep you saying.
All those in
Oh, wait
favor?
a minute.
Oh, wait,
It's
aye.
always over here. Yeah. No,
Stephen Kip.
Here.
no.
Here it is.
Yeah, I would,
Okay.
so,
Steve and Kip.
yep. Close. Okay.
Okay, all those in favor? Aye.
We all set?
Opposed? None. Abstaining? None. The motion passed unanimously, 5-0. Okay, the public hearing is now closed, and the rules are that only voting members may be able to participate in deliberations. So that's the 5 seated members. And then no new information may be introduced after the close of public hearing. Members may ask staff or ZBA attorney procedural questions. And the board usually discusses the evidence presented during the public hearing, potential conditions of approval agreed by the applicant, and potential reasons for granting or denying the variances before making a motion. So I think we discussed some of that during the case, but, so the unusual hardship is 3 street setbacks. Only 17% of the property is buildable land.
17.
17%, yep. There is an elimination of a pre-existing non-conforming with removing the non-conforming shed, and they're also reducing one side setback variance, encroachment because of the reduction of the eave. That, which is an alternative to unusual hardship. I think they are requesting the minimum variances to allow reasonable use of the property because they're keeping the same footprint, they're keeping the one story throughout, and they're not adding, yeah, they're keeping the same number of bedrooms and bathrooms. The agreed conditions of approval are to comply, I have it written down somewhere. I can read it.
Have a new site plan to be submitted.
Wait, let me just,
Okay.
let me just get the first one first. The applicant agrees to comply with all Ledgely Health District conditions per Ledgely letter dated July 25th, 2025, including the proposed first floor office to have 5-foot opening without door and to obtain final Ledgely Health District approval for updated plans. Okay, I've got that written down, so you have to
Okay.
write that down. Then to submit updated site plans with the revisions discussed that align with the proposed new plans. Let's see, any other conditions? No, I don't think so.
The new plan.
And the Ledgely Health District approval.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's it.
And I think we can say that it isn't harm with the intent and purpose of zoning regulations, again, because they are using the same foundation. They're having the same number of bedrooms and bathrooms. We could probably put that just in one spot. And they're really only requesting one street setback variance, and they have to because they have 3 street setbacks. And they have the other reasons are 2 neighbors submitted letters of support, and the evidence presented during the public hearing and the reasons articulated by the board within the public hearing or voting session. Does everyone agree with that, or have anything else to add?
Just one more comment. I mean, the fact that they're staying below the threshold for FEMA, do we need to mention that they consider FEMA or review for plans made sure that we met FEMA requirements or limitations?
Well, I'm not sure you need to mention that per se. I mean, ultimately, they were disqualified from pursuing their original plan because it would have triggered the association approval test. Their revised plans put them under FEMA, but I'm not sure that's a benefit per se, in the sense that usually you guys would like houses elevated, and they're deliberately doing this in a way that doesn't elevate the house. So I'm not sure that necessarily constitutes a benefit to the town of Old Lyme that they're not elevating their house in a flood zone.
And I think that we did ask during the open public hearing that they acknowledge that if they do have any increase in costs over the next 5 years, that makes them trigger that 50% threshold.
Cumulative.
It's cumulative, that they will have to make the house FEMA compliant.
Right.
But that's part of the law and the regulations, so I don't think we need it as a condition.
Okay.
In harmony, in addition to what you added, to what you said, I just added that decreasing the impervious driveway and 3-car parking on the property still. You can take it
Do we
eliminate.
specifically say 3-car parking? I think we didn't say that. Just,
No,
but I think you can say.
They did.
Well, they
They
did, but I'm
did.
not sure you need to limit it to a certain number of cars. per
Right,
Okay.
yeah.
Parking on,
Yeah,
just
say
take it out or
Decrease in impervious.
Decrease in impervious, I think,
just
is a
leave the
valid
decrease?
consideration.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a
3-car parking, I'm not sure is a valid consideration
Yeah.
for what you're doing here. A
Okay.
Decrease in impervious definitely is.
All right, so with that, would someone like to make a motion to grant with conditions the requested variances to section 8.87 and 9.31 to allow the construction of an additional, not to change this, to allow the construction of
Attic,
an
just get to say it that
addition
way.
over.
allow the construction of an attic
Well, an addition, an attic, whatever you want to call it, either way.
over the existing attached garage.
Which is no longer a garage.
Yeah.
Existing-
Well,
To allow,
Well, I think you can
You're gonna say
over
per
the-
plan submitted
and it's
anyway.
gonna be per plan submitted, but we have to say something, so the description of the,
Right.
it's less than what they originally had. So to allow construction of our construction of an attic over,
So the current description on them, it remains the same, it's just what it is the extent of the addition is different, but the language that you have is sufficient.
It's okay.
Yeah, to construct an addition over the existing attached garage, I think all of those things are.
yeah, because,
Yeah,
yeah, because
it's
it's still true. In street line setback on a non-conforming R10 lot in the AE12 flood zone per the site plans prepared by Indigo Land Design and dated July 22nd, 25, as revised, as will be revised.
so the revised,
As will be revised per today's discussion. How do I say that, have they
So we
revised
don't-
it? Wait, let me just talk, before you write anything, let me ask Sylvia a question.
take that.
I think you say pursuant to today's discussions, but you also have revised architectural plans in front of you as well.
Right, no, but I'm saying to describe the site plan, because normally we say the date, but the date is not correct anymore. So we say as revised per today's discussion.
Well, I think you need to say that the site plan is to be revised per the conditions of approval, or per the agreement.
To be revised.
And do we put approved by her or you?
Well, I'll
Well,
say,
she's not-
I'm going to stamp and sign it later, but
Yeah,
I'm going to get to
okay.
that. But first I want to say, I want to describe it accurately. So, prepared by Indigo Land Design LLC and dated July 2nd, 2025, to be revised per
We're gonna leave
per
that date?
today, per commitments made at today's meeting. How do we say it?
So I think the revisions to the site plan are just to make them consistent with the revised architectural plans.
Ah, okay.
That is,
I don't think there's any other revisions other than the ones that are consistent with the revised architectural.
Okay, to make
That you already have.
them consistent. Okay, this is what we're going to write down. Okay,
Okay.
so this, leave that
You
in.
wanna leave that?
Yeah, because it is dated this day, to be revised, to be consistent with the updated floor plans and elevations, which is, I have right there.
Presented at the meeting.
Prepared by 360 Design Plus
Updated
LLC and dated October 8th, 2025,
that's,
and stamped and signed by the ZBA chair. The conditions are the applicant will comply with all Ledgelight Health District conditions per Ledgelight Health District letter dated June 25, 2025, including proposed first floor office to have 5-foot opening without door, and to obtain final Ledgelight Health District approval for updated plans. And the other condition of approval is the revised site plan to be submitted to be stamped and signed by the ZBA chair. Okay.
So moved it.
Wait. I'm gonna make sure you got it. I want to read it back.
Well, you typed it.
I know. But anyway. But the second condition was,
You changed the wording?
the applicant must have, okay, yep, I got that there, yep, I got it there, okay,
Okay, take out the question mark though.
yeah, okay. So, would anybody like to make that motion? That's Kathleen,
I'll second.
that's Kip. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? None. All those abstaining? None. Motion passed unanimously, 5-0. All right. Thank you very much. I really appreciate your efforts to try to comply with the regulations as best you can. Phew.
Thank you very much.
All right, so the next case is case 25-12C, 70 Sea Spray Road, requesting variances to demolish demolish an existing 4-bedroom dwelling in the AE 12 flood zone and replace with an elevated FEMA compliant dwelling in the street line setback on a non-conforming R10 lot. A coastal site plan review application is also submitted. Deborah Bellotti, applicant. The variances requested are, well, I guess before you even get to this, I would just like to note that the applicants have not yet received Ledgelight Health District approval. So I guess I feel that usually we don't review plans that don't have Ledgelight Health District approval, and I think it's per one of our regulations, if I pull it up.
One of the procedural regulations, sort of thing?
Well,
No,
it's
actually one of our
in the regs
regulations,
itself.
in the regs
Bid
itself.
application.
I have to find it, I brought it with me. But anyway, I think it's 21. I got it here. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong application. Here it is, I got it. Per regulation 21-3, the zoning board of appeals may, in its discretion, require any application for a variance or special permit under this section to be accompanied by a certificate of Director of Health of Town of Old Lyme that the proposed provisions of water supply and sewage disposal comply with all sanitary codes, rules, and regulations. And I know that you're trying very hard to get that, but as if you don't have it yet, I think it would be best if we open the public hearing, because it's been 65 days, and I know you'd like to open the public hearing as well. Is that correct?
I think we could, because the house isn't going to change, the zoning variances aren't going to change.
So you
I
do
can
wanna
tell you the
open
story
the
about
public-
health, so yes, so that's what I'm leading up to. I think we could open it and discuss it, and then if, because of that regulation, we have to leave it open, we'll leave it open for November.
Yeah, I think we'll leave it open to November. I guess my question is, does the board want to discuss it now, or just continue it till November and then discuss it? Because I don't know if the plans will
Well, I
make
could
any.
also tell you the story of
Okay, wait,
the health approval.
Joe, the board is discussing it right now.
Well, let me just say, I'd rather hear it now because we have time, and that way to make it, let's,
Okay.
some the next time we do it, and if he's here.
Other people feel the same way?
Well, one of the issues would be though, we've got a sort of minimum of number of people here. They'd have to be here again in the November meeting for
Oh,
that to be
right.
a feasible thing.
Right? If we open the public hearing, the other thing is, there is an election. And before the next hearing. So 4 members are going to change.
But not until January, right?
No,
But next
before the
meeting.
next meeting.
Oh, wow, okay.
So, and we're already missing one person now. So
And, you know, Sylvia can
if
correct
we open the public hearing but then continue it right away, then they don't need to catch up on anything. They can just review the case and then be there to discuss the application. Because their terms expire November 18th and the next meeting is November 20th.
So your point is, if we hear substantial issues in the case,
Then that person's
then
gonna
it
have
voids
to.
the other people.
Well, then
walk
that
step.
voids them, but then they'd
They
have
have
to
to
come up
study.
to speed and read listen to the tape.
maybe the law has changed since I was doing this, but I mean, my understanding of the law when I was practicing was, if they were not seated when it opened, they can't go back and catch up on things that happened before they were actually on the board.
Right, they got
Oh,
it.
that is
That is a
right.
sticky wicket.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
interesting, yeah, sure.
It's not just listening to the
That
tape.
is
Yeah.
true.
So I think we
So
can
I'm
hear.
not sure I don't think, I think the law has changed.
Okay, no, that's fine,
For
but-
that, as long as that they receive at the time that they make the vote, they can. However, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Joe, but I think one of what Joe is looking to do is essentially get whatever revisions or clarification concerns out in the open. I think if there's different bodies making a decision, I don't know whether you're getting it from the people that will be making a decision. So, that's where we are.
Oh, sticky wicket there.
So the important thing is we're outlining all these things in the public meeting, and then I think the applicant can make a decision as to how they want to proceed, whether to continue the commencement of the opening the public hearing, to open it and make some presentation, or just to open it and immediately continue.
Well, I think the thing is, if, the other thing is, we don't meet in December. So if we open it today, we can continue it for 35 days to the November meeting, and then you would still have 65 days left to have an extension to January if there was still some issues that needed to be resolved. If we ask for an extent, we can't delay the opening of the public hearing anymore on our clock. It'd have to be his clock. And if it's his clock, then we use 35 days roughly of his clock, and then if we don't finish in November, then you can't get over to January.
But I think you end up with the same amount of net days at the end regardless, so whether it's where the extensions or the lands is, you end
Right,
up
but I'm
with the
saying,
same
but-
amount of days either way.
But I'm saying, but if he's got 65 days, we've already used our 65 days. He's got 65 days. So if we open it and just continue the public hearing, then he's got 65 days to continue the public hearing until January. If we,
Well, he's got 35 plus 65.
Yeah,
no, because if we open it today, we use 35 days.
But the 65 under 87D can be placed anywhere along the process.
I understand, but I'm
So-
saying,
I think it's the same amount of net days either way, it's just a matter of whose days.
it's
are you
65, 35, 65 plus 65 for him. So we already used 65 of ours. If
But
we-
have you though?
Yes, we have.
We didn't open it last month.
Right.
And
So this
was-
is 2 months, this is 65.
So you
It
go
was
from by
sub-
when it was
It was
submitted?
submitted, no, it was
Yeah.
submitted,
First,
it was submitted in August 8th. 35 days later, which is early September, it was received because we didn't meet in
Right, but
August.
doesn't 65.
So then the first meeting that I could have gone to was the September meeting, but because you didn't have the health department approval, it went to the October meeting. So we've already used up most of our 65 days. So if you wanted to not open the public hearing, you'd have to use some of your 65 days. And if you did that and we didn't finish in November, then we don't, I guess,
You can't make it.
Did-
oh, I see what you're saying, because then we can use the 35 days later.
Trust me when I say you will make it there either way. There's the
Okay.
same total days, it's just a matter of whose days you're
Well,
using.
one other clarification too, your 65-day clock doesn't start until you receive it. So that's the September date, right?
No,
Well, that's
it's
35
35
days.
days after October 7th,
August.
August 7th.
It's, the receipt is either the first regular meeting
Yeah.
or 35 days after the actual submission.
And the submission was August 7th. So it means it was received in early September.
September 11th would be 35 days after. That's before your last meeting, so your clock started on September 11th.
September
Right.
11th, exactly.
Yeah.
If September 11th was a regular meeting, then yes.
No,
So there
September
was-
when it was
There was no meeting
received.
that,
Oh, but it was 35 days after the submission.
Right,
there we go,
exactly.
that's where we are.
So it's,
There's no
it was
August
received
meeting.
early September. Then
So we're only
we
35
originally,
days in.
No,
Because
no.
we're 30, okay.
From
35
September 11th.
No, no.
September-
There's a submission, you submitted it to the land use office.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's pretend there aren't any regular meetings,
Okay.
just to make this simple.
Yeah.
It's from your submission 35 days then. So
Okay.
I think the statement is whatever the submission was plus 35 days takes you to September 11th. So that's the start. And then we add 65 days from that, so
Right.
30
No,
days
no.
would have been.
But September 11th till now is only 35 days. That's what I'm saying.
When was the application?
no,
submitted?
it was,
I think Joe's a point here, okay. I think you're right. We're gonna count from August 7th,
August 7th, is
35
received
days.
September
September 11th.
Hang on,
Thir-
hang on.
yeah.
When was the application submitted?
It
August
came into
2nd.
August 7th,
Okay.
okay? 35 days from August 7th, because there was no meeting in August.
Yep.
Takes us to September 11th.
Yes.
Okay. Receipt December 11th, 35 days from September 11th is tonight. Okay?
Yes.
That's what he said.
Well,
So that's 35. We can now,
we have another 30.
we have another 30 days, but we're not meeting for another 30 days. We're meeting after that next month. We're not meeting until whatever the date is in November, but it's November 20th,
So
I
you need
think.
a little bit of extension
We need a little
time
bit,
to get you
yeah, to get to November 20th,
Okay.
okay?
Well, my point was is that it starts at the date of receipt, not when the application comes into the
Yeah, I know,
office. It
which
starts
is-
your next regular meeting or the 35 days. So your first initial 65-day clock started on September 11th. So
Yes.
we're only 35 into that. So we have 30 left. That's not almost up. But Eric's point is that your next meeting is more than 30 days away from now.
Right.
Right.
So we need to give you an extension of like 2 days or something like that to get to November.
4 days, but in any event.
If that's if you don't open it tonight, right?
Yeah,
If they open it tonight, then
Yes.
that resets.
If you, yeah, and it resets, then you've got
Right.
35 days from today, and then you've got all your extension time on that end.
Right, so the time, I think, is a non-issue, I think that works.
Okay.
Plus, we would grant an extension if we had to. But if we opened it tonight and heard your concerns, it gives us an opportunity to correct or change things that we need to before November, because if we didn't hear your concerns until November, then we have no chance other than to continue to January.
yeah.
Sure that these aren't the people whose concerns you'll be hearing.
Well, I think the board's going to mostly be the same.
I might not
No.
be here in November.
You will be.
No, I mean, not necessarily because of the voting.
And we know that you will
We've got
not be.
potential
I will
state
not be here in
championship team,
November.
and those are the days they have the tournament games.
If you're not here for that, I might not be here for that too.
Yeah.
He coaches my kids.
Yeah, so
I
you
guess
two,
the other point
three.
though is that, okay, so you acknowledge that it's currently missing the Ledgely Health District approval. So if there's any changes that need to occur after that, so we're looking at a site plan that we don't know.
The house is not going to change.
So you say then we look at the architectural plans, but not the site plan,
The site, the house on the site plan won't change.
the location?
But it is reasonable to say that we steer a lot of our concerns back to you around the legislative approval issues too.
Yeah.
So if the legislative letter comes back as something that's problematic for us, that'll be something we'd directly be interested in you.
Correct. But remember, no one can get a building permit without a health approval. I know that's a part of your regulations, and I completely respect that. The story I just wanted to tell you, and I know we haven't opened yet, but I think you just need to know the background information. So we submitted this to legislate.
Are we opening or not opening? We haven't decided that
And if
yet?
you haven't, if you're not opening that, I don't want you to start getting into your presentation yet, because I don't want there to be evidence that's in
Yeah, so it
open air
wasn't,
that is not in the record.
it wasn't really part of the presentation. It was just the backstory on the health approval, so everybody understands where we are and what we've done since.
Well, I think
That's
we
part of it.
have,
That
do
seems okay.
we have something submitted in the application? Because we got this, it's in the, we have this.
So I don't think you want to get into any substantive review of anything in the record. I agree with you.
Yeah, okay.
It's going to get mucky as to.
I'm saying you don't need to give a background or anything because everything that's happened so far is in the record. But we know we don't have the Ledgely Health District approval. Anyway, I guess I'm a little struggling with, generally don't review applications that don't have Ledgely Health District approval, but we can,
You know, I have not performed a review of the application either, because.
yeah, we don't have
Right.
Eric's review.
Yeah, and we're not asking you to close tonight, we're not asking you to approve tonight, just open it, hear us, we get your feedback, table it, we already know from the beginning that we table it to November. It just gives us an opportunity to hear you now, change things, come back in November, maybe we get the approval in November, maybe we don't. But if we start it in November, then we're guaranteed 2 more months after that, because there's no meeting in December. So we.
But if we have
force
a
the
complete
committee.
application in November, then we could be decided in November.
If there are no changes, if there are changes, then we're forced to come back.
Right, but
So
if there are
my
changes-
preference, since the time doesn't matter, my preference is to open it. And what Sylvia said before is it doesn't matter who, as long as the people that are seated went back and listened to the tapes, they can vote on it. So,
Okay, so the issue about being seated at the start of the hearing does not matter anymore.
Correct.
Okay, because that was something that came up in the past.
But then you were saying if they weren't if they weren't elected and sworn in, they
Sylvia
could
says
not
that's
just.
okay.
She says
Oh,
it's-
well, that's right. You took that away.
Okay,
Right.
Sylvia says that's okay.
Okay, so I guess it comes down to what the consensus. Do people want to open the hearing and hear it and then, and then continue it knowing that we still don't have the Leadlight Health District approval, that there could be some changes to the site plan, but,
I'm fine opening.
Yeah, I'm fine.
okay.
At his discretion, if he thinks it's the right strategy for this, I suppose.
Yeah.
I'd certainly be willing to stay
Right.
here for a while.
I'll listen to what you have to say, but I don't usually do an in-depth review on applications that are incomplete, so I won't have all my comments necessarily today. But I won't be here next time either, so it doesn't matter. All right, we're gonna open the public hearing for case, what's the number of this case?
25-12C.
Yeah, 2512C, thank you.
awesome. So thank you for all of that discussion. I appreciate it. For the record, again, Joe Wren, professional engineer of Indigo and Old Saybrook. Again, with me is David Noe, 360 Design Plus, also in Old Saybrook. So now that the public hearing is open, I can kind of tell you a little bit of backstory. So the only notion of an incomplete application is just because we don't have health department approval. We have a review. They talked to the state. They got back to, it was a month later. It was, we didn't even have, or we got the health denial like the day before the meeting last month. So since then, in that month, they requested additional soil testing. Since we're changing some drainage here to accommodate the septic system.
Are you pointing to what was submitted to the Leadlight Health District, or is this something that we've seen? Is this in our records yet? Has this been submitted to the ZBA?
This plan, the house is all of the same.
I'm asking what version of the plan is this?
So this is dated August 7th, 2025, when you received it.
Okay,
And this revision is the latest revision, but the only thing that changed on here is the septic system.
The septic?
The septic.
so I'm
Nothing
just
with
asking a
zoning
question.
change.
Is this, I'm just asking, so you're describing what you're pointing to the old plan or the current plan?
This is the current plan revised per Leadlight Health District's
Okay,
comments.
so I'm asking specifically, do we need to mark this as an exhibit? Because it's something we've not received yet.
You can, but I'm telling you the only difference is the septic system.
Whether
So
you,
yes, your marking is.
Yes.
we are trying to stick to the rules, and
Of course.
this is not something that is in the file, so we need to mark it as an exhibit.
That's fine. And I can, after we review it, I can certainly give you this. But again, for your purposes, the only difference is the septic system.
And that was
The house,
per their
the zoning table
comments.
is all the same.
They wanted revisions in the septic on the property.
Correct.
That's what you've sent to them now, and you're awaiting approval on these revisions.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. So we got that letter right before the last meeting. That's why we continued the last meeting. We didn't open the public hearing. Now, they asked us to do some revisions. They asked us to do more soil testing, which one of those pouring morning rain days, we were out there doing soil testing out here to accommodate that. And the other thing with this septic system, we have to be certain distances away from stormwater systems, drainage systems. So we had proposed on the plan to take this existing handmade block catch basin, eliminate that one because it's on this property anyways, and it's an association drainage system. It should be on the association property. There's no easement, there's no right really for that. So we're eliminating that substandard catch basin. We're replacing it with a new standard catch basin that is precast concrete and is watertight. We're changing the pipe that goes from this catch basin to this catch basin with a new, clean, tight pipes so the joints don't leak at all. And we have to be specified distances away from that. And then we are changing out this section of pipe too, again with what they call tight pipe, so tight gasketed joints so it doesn't leak at all. So it's improving that situation, but one of the ledge-like comments was to do the soil testing, which was done. The next one was to review these drainage improvements with the association to make sure they're on board with the improvements before they sign off on it. As we all know, SOARs are supposed to be coming, and the septic might be a moot point at some point in the future, but they can't base their approval on that. So what we did is, Dave happens to know the president of Old Lyme Shores. His name is Paul Yellen. So we had a nice on-site meeting with him. We showed him exactly what we were proposing to do. It's an improvement for the association. These pipes are old pipes. They're half filled with sediment. There are leaky joints and so forth. This catch basin is a handmade block basin. It's not even on their property. So with this plan, it's actually a drainage improvement. And he kind of condoned it at the site meeting, but he can't vote on it. The board, the Old Lyme Beach Association board, has to review it. They had a meeting last night. Their board meeting was the October 15th. Dave and then Ray from my office attended that meeting, since I was at senior night for soccer with that gentleman. They reviewed this thoroughly, and they sent us an email, which I had forwarded to the town, which you may have a copy of.
It's in the record.
That says that they reviewed that, and they approved those improvements for the drainage. So that was sent over to, their meeting was last night, so I had to send that over this morning to Cheryl, so she got that. I told her that we met with Paul, that the approval was more than likely coming. So obviously Monday was a holiday. She really put her best effort in to try to finish the plan for this meeting, but I got an email from her today saying that she had other fires to put out within the health district, so that she wasn't going to get us the letter of approval. So we're very close. We've done everything they asked for. We got the association approval. We did the extra soil testing. We made the revisions to the septic that she had required in her letter. And now all of it meets that. We just need her to do her final review and approve it. So
let me
we're
ask a
close.
question.
We just didn't get her letter yet.
Yeah. So to clarify, so you said that she wrote you a letter initially, and that you've responded to that letter.
Correct.
Do we have that letter in our records?
I'm not sure. If
We
she
did.
submitted it
We had
to
like
you.
8 conditions. I had like, what do I have?
In the Leslie Health District?
Yeah, the
8
initial letter.
revisions, 2 conditions, 3 recommendations. Additional requirements and recs.
Oh, here it is.
So it probably says something up on top of that. like
Okay,
not
it's
approved
dated
or needs
September
further information.
16th, yep, okay.
So those items in that letter is what I just explained and what we did. So now we have Old Lyme Shores Beach Association approval. We did the soil testing and we made those revisions to the septic system that they required. We talked to the state, they talked to the state, we got clarifications and everything on that letter is now incorporated into this plan. And again, that's the only reason for this revision is to just update the septic system. The zoning, the house is the same size, same location, the zoning table is exactly the same, the variances requested are exactly the same as before. The only change is the septic system per that letter.
Okay,
Okay?
and so if she writes a letter back and approves it with conditions, we'd get that letter for the next meeting.
We're hoping to have that. We were hoping to have it for today.
Okay.
Once we got Old Lyme Shores approval last night. So whether it's tomorrow or next week, it'll definitely be before that next meeting.
Okay,
Correct. Yeah.
all right,
Okay.
thank you.
So without any further ado, the existing site is here. This is a true corner lot. So this is the one we were referencing before. The address is 70 Sea Spray Road. So on this side, we have the rear setback, and then on this side, we have the side or other yard setback. And then we have the street setback. That's a private road. Sea Spray is also private, and we have that front setback there as well. There is an existing house that's shaded in the pale yellow that you can see. That is non-conforming to both street setbacks. And then there's also a large garage over on the eastern side, also shaded in yellow, and there's a small shed in the back corner, shaded in yellow. All of those items are non-conforming. Obviously, the shed and the large garage are fully within the rear yard setback. We are eliminating that completely, so there's nothing within 30 feet of that side now. The house is conforming, those two structures are being removed, so that is going to be consistent with the requirements. On the north side, the shed is non-conforming on the north side right now, but there's no proposed non-conformity in that side. On the west side, or the Seaspray Road side, our front yard setback goes all the way to here. So the existing house, you can see, is well into that setback. And we can't eliminate it just because of the narrow width that we have left, but we improved it. You can see where the yellow is versus the pink. And we've improved that. We can get the number, it's in there out of the zoning table, but we went from the yellow to the pink.
So you improved it from distance, but not width. It's a longer portion of the building is in the setback.
Correct. But what we did is we moved it to the north because currently the existing house is also non-conforming to C Lane front yard setback, and we've corrected that as well. So we've eliminated that street line setback, we've eliminated the rear yard setback, nothing new. We've actually eliminated that from the side too, but nothing new in the north side, and then the front we've improved. So eliminated 3 sides and improved the fourth side.
Is there a reason you made the house that wide instead of a little bit narrower and longer, so you wouldn't have to be as much in the street setback, and because you have space on the side there?
So it's a good question. So down here, we're strictly limited by the septic system. We have to be 5 feet away from decks and steps, and we have to be 10 feet away from the house. Then with all this drainage, remember we have drainage along this whole east side, we have drainage along the south side. So to these catch basins, we have to be 25 feet away for the septic system. And to this new tight pipe that we're replacing, there's also a minimum separation distance to that. So we're as tight as we can be on this side. We do need these steps because the house, this one's in FEMA.
I was thinking more from the north.
So I'm getting there,
Okay,
working my way around the
okay.
house. So because of FEMA, we need a lot of steps because this is 10 feet off the ground or so, 10, 11 feet off the ground.
To the first floor, yeah.
So to the first floor, so we need a bunch of steps for access and egress out to the south. On the north side, this is where the garage is. So we have our driveway, it's a side load garage, and we have a minimum distance that we need in order for a car to come in and make the turn into the garage. So with that, you can see we have very little distance left up on top just for some small shrubs or grass or whatever it may be on that side. But we have that minimum distance we need for turning into the garage, and then we have the house, and then we have the septic system. So we're kind of pinned.
But I guess the question is,
This is a crushed stone.
But I guess my question is, since you're making a brand new house, you could make the entrance to the garage from the front.
So Dave will get into the house next, right?
Yep.
He'll discuss the garage and the requests from the client and so forth regarding that. It has a lot to do because the house is elevated, so the garage is underneath. But there were some very specific design parameters to have the garage on the north side and be a side load, right?
Yeah, I think one
If you want to show
important
that now, you can.
one important part of that is looking at the site plan here. To line up these garage doors along this face, we have a really wide, as you can see, it's a wide driveway coming right out off the street. So this way we're kind of able to tuck it back behind and not have this large curb cut coming off the front main road for people to back out and then into the road to get out of the driveway, or I'm sorry, out of the garage. So that was really the main reason for not.
And you've got a front lawn that way, this way, like the way you're doing it.
Yeah, right now we have a front lawn to kind of keep more of that aesthetic
Yeah.
of the neighborhood.
The
And here is,
crushed stones around, tucked to the side, and that's where you want to drive in, correct?
yeah, we chose to put that on the north side, obviously, so it was
I
guess
did back out of the existing driveway and it was too narrow, that road,
Yeah, it's a very narrow road.
very
right.
narrow.
Oh, over here, yeah, so we're eliminating that. That driveway's going away, so is the garage. Here, we have Seaspray Road, but you have the ability to get in here and turn around and go out forward rather than be forced to back out of this driveway. It's very close to the property line on that side too, and there, I think there's a utility pole right there, so it's very difficult to make that turn, but
Yeah.
all of that is going away.
Yeah, the reason I ask is because some neighbors did have some objection to the extent into the front yard setback. So I was
So
wondering,
we'll talk about that shortly when we get into that letter. But we are, again, remember, we're pulling that back. I didn't print that picture, but Dave and I were out at the site. You printed the picture, do you have it? So now that Nancy brought that up, we'll talk about that. So we'll get into the,
this is Exhibit 2?
I believe so.
Yeah.
So that's the house there, Joe. This is standing in there, in the neighbor's driveway.
right, that's their house, but we had one showing that other house to the south. Did you
Oh,
print
okay.
that one?
No.
So this is a picture from the neighbor's driveway, from Lally's driveway, but it doesn't show what I wanted it to show. So when I took a picture, I have it on my phone, I can print, pass that around. I did
So
not
this
print
is the
that.
house, this is the street, this is their yard.
This is the complaining neighbors.
Okay.
Yard.
Yeah, so the intent of that picture is to show that the house existing is already in the path of the view. And technically, they don't have a view easement, correct, Joe?
Yeah, there's no view easement over the property. We talk about that a lot, but we also are improving, we're improving the street line setback in that area. Yes, the house is getting taller, mainly because of FEMA. The existing house is 23 feet tall, and we're going with a 24-foot house, but it's setting it up because of the flood zone. And then also, I mean, this part of the house, yes, would, block view from a certain way, but then this portion of the corner is an open deck, so as that's elevated, right, you'd be able to see through that portion.
Yep.
My other picture that I took is there's another house on the south side of Sea Lane here that from that driveway looking down that sight line, it actually sticks more to the west than the existing house does, and we're going to the east a little bit, and this house is already closer to Seaspray Road than this house is. So we feel that, A, there's no view easement or rights or anything
Yeah,
over
yeah.
the property, and
Understand
B, we're making it FEMA compliant, otherwise conforming to the height regulations, and we're making it a little bit more conforming on that side, and we can't do anything about the house to the south, so.
Yeah.
Nobody looks
What is this
over a
showing?
house that big anyway to get their view.
This is looking from the
Right.
neighbor's
Right.
house towards
Yeah,
the
to
shore.
the side.
Right.
This is the house.
Only it's gonna go up.
gonna
And
go
so their view, it's all about
Yeah, I
their
mean,
view.
you already can't.
Yeah, you
see
don't,
through.
you can't see
There's
past
no
it
law on that.
because it's a vertical block right there anyway. You can't see over it and
Right.
you're losing the view because it
Yeah, their
lived that
house
way.
is not elevated, so they're not looking down over that house.
So basically, just
It's hard
to
to
get
see
in the
over the
record,
houses.
Exhibit 2 is a photograph looking south
Mhm. Yeah.
at the house from the neighbor's property.
Right.
So did you say which neighbor? I didn't catch the name.
Lally is the last name, and they're the direct neighbor to the north.
On
It
the
is number, does I say 64, Dave?
Yeah.
64 Seaspray.
This is looking south. So they're gonna be facing the garage doors from that angle versus the rest of the people who drive by won't see the
Correct.
garage.
Yep. And Dave makes a good point with a three-car garage, that would
Everybody's
be almost the
seen it
whole
now.
width of the house here, of this 30-something foot wide driveway. On that curb cut, where here we just have a 12-foot driveway, and then it opens up on the property, so we can maintain that green, as you see there, we can maintain that green along the streets down in that area. So the house has to go up. It's almost right to the conforming 24 feet right now, but it has to go up that additional just for FEMA. So this is a tear down or rebuild, so we're way over the 50%, so it has to be compliant to FEMA. There's no arguing this one, for
Yeah.
sure. So it will be a FEMA compliant house.
And basically,
it will
it's
go up.
compliant in every way except for the height and the front setback.
Correct.
And your reductions in nonconformity are the existing garage is gonna be
That's why
gone.
those are the only two variances, building height and then street line setback on the west side, that's actually.
Address a little bit about how you
Should I
minimize
have
the
this
height
one?
of the building.
No,
It's
well,
relative.
unless you want
Yep.
to.
Different,
No,
the
no.
change that you made for the height
Oh, we're
of the
not
new building
making
versus the height of the
I
old.
know.
Yep, we'll have Dave go through that now, I think it's
Percent
an appropriate time to go through. There was just a question about the height and how Dave worked hard to minimize the height of the build of the house. Obviously, we can't do anything about the 10 or 11 feet off the ground for FEMA, but he can show you where those critical elevations are and how we work with the roof lines to keep it in the
Yep.
24 feet.
So I guess this would be another exhibit.
This is Exhibit 3. So say for the record what Exhibit 3 is, so I could.
It's another diagrammatical section showing those heights and how we arrived at the 24 feet.
Don't
So
make
the-
her spell diagrammatic.
I'm just writing
I'm sorry.
diagram of building
It's
heights.
building section. Building section.
Building cross-section
Yeah.
of the north part of the house or whatever?
It's kind of a generic
Generic.
section through.
Oh, just showing the elevations
Yeah.
and heights. Okay. Exhibit 3, 10, 16, 25. Okay. Thank you.
Yep. I'll just steal this back for 1 second. So yeah, this diagram basically shows from the bottom of our lowest beam, which aligns with a 13-foot design flood elevation. From there is our 24 feet up to the ridge. So basically what we did is we took what would typically be grade and lifted that up to meet the FEMA, the 13 feet, and then worked with our 24 feet from there up. So we're set by FEMA regulations plus the 1 foot freeboard to meet that 13. Then we have a 14 inches for beam,
Yeah.
which is pretty standard practice to run a beam around the perimeter of these columns. And then 1 foot floor system, which is a standard TJI floor system.
Can you make it a little closer?
Yeah.
It's really hard to see.
Sorry, I was gonna. So here's our 14-inch beam, which is pretty standard to run that along each column. And then the 1 foot floor system here, which would be TJI's, and then a 3/4 inch subfloor. So what we did is we took the 24 feet from the bottom of that beam and went up.
So the base foot elevation right here is 12, and you need to be 1 foot above that.
Yeah.
And then the distance between that, and this is the structural beam here? Or is it
Yes, the bottom of this line here.
Okay.
So typically, when we build a house, our first floor is typically 2 feet from the first floor,
Yeah.
say it's hardwood floor, from the first floor down to the grade is typically a 2 foot difference, and that's our 2 feet here. So 2 foot 3/4 inch.
And what's the height from this ceiling here to the bottom of the rafters?
Well, the rafters start at that floor, so they start all the way down
No,
here.
I mean, but maybe the roof,
Um,
because you have an
So-
8-foot first floor,
yep, an 8
but
foot
it looks
first
like
floor.
taller at the second floor.
So it'd be 8 foot on the first floor, another 1 foot floor system, and then the pitch of these rafters. Yeah, I mean, at some point we are over the 6 feet. Obviously, it starts counting. I think this is our 6 foot wall. And then we're going up to where it meets the ridge, which is right at the 24 feet.
Right, I'm just saying, can you make it closer?
Yeah,
You're saying this is 8 feet,
yeah.
and then that's 8 feet, and then it's higher than that. Why
Yeah,
does it need to be higher than that?
to get us the headroom on the second floor. So there's like a very small attic space. It's probably 3 or 4 feet.
Uh-huh.
So as all those rafters come up and we put that 8 foot ceiling in, there's a small triangle left.
And, okay,
You know, because we are pitching the rafters from that ceiling height, so in order to get enough headroom that it's usable for the
No,
story
I'm-
and a half.
So
Yeah.
is the first floor and second floor ceiling heights, are they the same? Because if that's to scale, I can see what you're looking at. It looks larger to the floor of the attic, you know, like, is that, I mean, like,
Yeah, I'm
just
just asking, is it?
put a
you're-
ruler to it or
You're
something?
saying that is it the minimum height that you need to meet FEMA compliance? So like, yes, you have a second floor, but why does it need to be higher ceiling? Why is it higher than the?
Maybe if I show you the
Could we
elevations.
contrast it with the existing structure?
Yeah,
I mean, you've got your FEMA lift.
Can I see that?
yeah.
How is it different from taking the original structure and just FEMA lifting that?
I mean, so the massing is much different. So like the
Yeah.
actual house is much different, but
Yeah, no, but that's what I'm trying to say is when we're talking about the height issue, because it's
The same.
one of our live
It's the
issues.
same.
It's the same.
What would it look like
Yeah, some optical.
side by side with what you're proposing if I took the original and just lifted it? I know when
No, but why is it?
yeah, I mean, I
why
can
not
produce that. I can definitely.
something like that.
What's
so we
this?
get a sense of
Oh, what is that?
what is what it's already
There's only one
exists.
tape, so I need.
Okay. Sorry.
So this is the existing house.
Right.
In this house, for example, the second floor is here. 8 foot is probably approximately here. And even in this house, there's that small triangle
So how
above
tall
the.
is the house?
Existing was 13 feet, or I'm sorry, 23 feet,
23.
I
Oh,
believe.
okay, so it's only a
23
difference of like
feet,
a
yeah.
foot.
Yeah, and you're gonna be 24, the
That's what I
structure above FEMA.
Yeah, 24 from FEMA.
Yeah, so
to
it's
the
only
bridge.
1 foot that you're talking about differential, or am I missing?
Yeah, and we're
Point
also
eight.
within the 24
Right.
allowable. So we've taken, what we did is we took FEMA, the elevation of FEMA, and worked from there up.
If this building was sitting on the ground, I made this analysis on a recent application, if this building was, the new building was sitting on the ground, it would be 24 feet.
Correct.
Yeah.
From the floor to the peak is 22 feet, and then plus the 2 feet from the floor to the ground that they mentioned before.
Okay.
So our new house, I think it might explain that a little bit, that little triangle there. Our new house is gonna look like this, and so this is the sea spray side. As that section comes up, and our 8 feet is about right here, this is that small triangle. And because the house has crossing gables like this, they come in. So there's a small triangle here that goes back to the ridge, and then this small triangle, that's the other side, so coming from over here back to that other intersection. So it's like a T shape in plan. So there's really actually no real usable space up there. I don't even think we're gonna be able to get ductwork up there, to be honest with you.
Okay.
And to run HVAC, I think we're gonna have to find ways to run it from below.
And this is 1.5 stories.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, because we dropped all
And those aren't garage doors on the bottom because they're on the side,
They're
but
looking
that's
at-
your elevation, those breakaway walls or whatever?
breakaway walls, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
I was looking at that and saying, all right, well, that looks like that's where the cars are driving in, but it's not.
Remember, all of that is flood space, so really the
Yeah,
house
yeah.
is like that.
Yep, no, I get that. I
This is
was
all
just
FEMA
interpreting
required.
that as the side where the driveway comes into, because they look
Right.
like,
I mean,
Garage
they all
doors
kind of
up
look the same.
yeah, there we go.
So where we actually are driving in is, see, and I
Here,
can't even,
down the
I don't even
bottom.
know. It's on this side.
Yeah, on the
So
bottom,
those
yeah.
are 3. Yeah.
Okay.
So the intention on these would they'd be like an AZAC panel that's trimmed out in white, and then we'd clad the columns with stone, so it'd all look nice and finished.
Okay.
And you mentioned breakaway walls, but it's in the A zone, so we
Right.
just designed the V zone standards.
Yeah, I mean, technically, these don't need a breakaway,
Okay.
but,
They have to be
Vented,
flood
right?
tolerant.
yeah, and they'll have flood vents in them as well to let the water come in and out. Really, the only difference with a breakaway wall is just how it's nailed into the structure. There's a lot less nails on a breakaway wall.
And there's nothing
Any of the vents.
mechanical on that floor at all.
No, we have to be,
Everything's
everything has to be above the
They
13.
they show it on the north side.
Yeah, the north side elevation shows the mechanicals on a deck that's up. And there are notes all over this that say, everything has to be up
Yeah.
above the 13.
And most of that's not really us, that's the FEMA stuff.
Right. And the other side is, it's near the stairs on the other side of the stair entry upstairs.
Yeah, we have an electrical meter's gonna be
On
here.
the east side, right.
And of course, at the bottom, just storage. There'll be no living space.
Garage, no low
Garage
value
and
storage,
storage.
no living space, no
Unfinished.
utilities.
Floor plan.
Okay, and there was a report from the engineer that said this house was FEMA compliant. So we don't need it. Yeah.
This is that lower level plan here. So it's basically gonna be columns down there, the garage doors, and really that's it, the stairs to the second floor, or to the first floor.
It's sort of been our general philosophy along the way that if they have an existing house with an existing structure, that if they simply are saying, listen, we're lifting that for FEMA compliance, basically it's the same type of structure. It could be architecturally different, but it's got the same footprint-ish and the
We
same
lifted,
volume.
what you're trying to say is if we lifted the existing house, we're compliant with FEMA, it would be the same height.
Right. It wouldn't have much.
It actually may even be higher because as Dave will tell you, lots of times you have to add beams underneath the existing floor because it's not strong enough to hold itself. So sometimes that adds another foot to the
Yeah.
height as well.
So I guess the thing you're saying is the hardship is, you're saying this is the minimum height to become FEMA compliant and be basically based on your current existing house. It's 1.5 stories.
24-foot house sitting on the ground, plus the minimum for FEMA brings it up to that number that we're requesting.
And the hardship for why you're in the front setback is because,
I'll go through that sheet.
yeah, thank
Well, that
you.
was partly it was less so. You're less in the front setback.
Yeah, so a little history on the whole project. The owners brought me in. They're new to the area, so they're not very familiar with this flood information stuff. And they said, we'd like to renovate this house. The house has no drywall. It's subpar as far as structure goes. No real kitchen. And instantaneous as like you're going to be way above the 50%. So lifting the house up from the get-go was, that was always the plan. So we have to lift it up no matter what. This structure, the way it is, I don't even think it could be lifted safely
Yeah,
because it's so deficient. And that was kind of the basis of where it all began.
and then your other alternative to hardship is, unusual hardship is the reductions in
I'll go through that too.
non-conformity.
We have
Yeah.
several.
Okay.
So I'll just summarize all that stuff now, but one thing that we haven't mentioned that's in the list is that the existing house is a 2-story house. The new one is a bona fide 1.5 story. We worked
That's
hard on
good.
that from the beginning.
That's good.
So
Because
bring
you're
that
gaining
down.
more space because you're having the garage turning into living space.
Right, so we have a
Yeah.
bigger first floor, but the second floor is a true house. It's a little
helpful.
under, I think, or just about.
It's just
but
about
not-
at
Yeah, it's not
1.5.
over the 50%. So just to summarize, proposed variances are requested, and again, we only have those 2 variances, right?
Yep.
The height that we just went through thoroughly, and then the west side setback from Sea Spray Road.
Actually,
which-
there wouldn't, well, Eric hasn't finished his view yet, but you would still need the 9.3.1.
Well, no, because it's not going to
No.
rebuild.
Oh, right.
It's a new house, yeah, it's tear down.
Okay, you're right, sorry,
Well, they-
my question.
We'll need, we'll talk to Joe about it, under the new CAM requirements, they may need to go to CAM, even after having gone to CAM here, the zoning commission to get their approval, with the house will be finished here.
Okay.
Because under the statute has now changed and what requires CAM approval from the zoning commission.
But we do
Okay.
have CAM approval.
Yes.
So no matter which board we go to, we have their feedback.
They
there,
have
which
their
is positive.
recommendation, but it still has to be approved by the board. I know Sylvia would jump in and say that if I didn't say it.
Yeah, I mean, their main things are, we're proposing a pervious driveway, just like you would like to see, and also FEMA compliance, and they're very happy to see that everything met
Yeah.
FEMA compliance.
Okay.
All right. So the variants are requested to allow the 1933 house, existing non-conforming 2-story, 4-bedroom dwelling that is not FEMA compliant.
Can I ask a question right off the bat procedurally? Since we're continuing this case, and there may be different people at the other hearing, should we have them go through all of this or have them do it at the next hearing?
Well, I think it'd be good to make sure we're complete if they.
Okay, then
haven't left
I just want to make
anything
sure we're
out.
not wasting anybody's time. Okay.
Unless he wants our feedback, so if he
Yeah.
doesn't give us, we
Okay.
can't feedback.
Yeah, if there was something that was an obstacle or something that needed to be
Well, I
tweaked.
mean,
now
one of the
we can do
hardships
that.
was your drainage issue in the health department
Mhm.
in getting the stormwater corrected. watertight. So I think that's a hardship on the lot due to the development in the area, and I don't think we've discussed that. It was
I'm not
something
sure that's a
that-
hardship, it's just a requirement
But
of
it's
going to
also
a year-round house.
It adjusted, they had to adjust the design. I mean, it addressed-
alternatively, it's actually an improvement to a non-conforming.
Right. So I mean, I
Because
just feel like it is something you had to address. It is an improvement, like FEMA's an improvement.
correct.
I think count it as more like an improvement in health and safety because
Yeah.
we don't,
And-
that's a legislative health district.
But that's,
Aspect.
that's proposed or actualized? We have made this change already, or
They
we're
were
proposing?
proposing.
Yeah, that's, I was just making sure that it hasn't actually,
Yeah, that's on this plan that Legislite is currently
Yep,
reviewing.
good.
Okay. But we've used that before, that even going from non-FEMA compliant to FEMA compliant is an elimination of an existing non-conforming.
No.
I'll take your one word.
So
It
then,
I
doesn't
don't know about that.
matter, it doesn't matter, because it's its own independent thing.
Yeah.
but
It's not non-conforming because it's grandfathered in. The existing house is grandfathered in.
Yeah, you
Don't
only
worry
need
about
to become
No,
FEMA
not
compliant if you do substantial improvements.
Right,
So
exactly.
the current house does not violate FEMA because
Right.
it doesn't need to meet the substantial improvement test.
Correct. All right, but anyway.
yeah, I
let's
look at that
argue
differently, but just
yeah.
like the septic, I look at the septic as an improvement, not, because what's there now is no one really knows.
But it's not-
And we are
Zoning
supposed to
regulated.
favor improvements to the property.
Right,
and
public health,
clearly
safety,
would be
all
an
that.
Public
improvement
health
to the
and safety
property.
is not like a hardship
Right,
So,
legally, technically, right.
or a
just
reduction
get
of
past
the-
this first sentence. Here. So, 4-bedroom year-round dwelling with conforming FEMA regulations and town flood ordinances. The existing non-conforming shed and garage will be removed as well. Only one feature, the computed height is proposed to become less conforming due to, and I mentioned computed height there because of what we discussed. We're taking almost the same height house and lifting it to FEMA, so it's how we have to compute the height. However, all other existing non-conforming features will either become fully conforming or less non-conforming as a result of this project. And then I refer to the improvements in non-conformity below. Strict application of the zoning regulations would result in unusual hardship because the lot is located in the R10 zoning district. The lot area is 8614 and is bounded on two sides by private streets. Due to the lot being a corner lot, in addition to the two 25-foot street line setbacks, the lot is also encumbered by a 30-foot rear yard setback. As a result, approximately 79.4% of the lot is encumbered by setbacks. For the building height, the main reason for the variance is due to the required conformance with FEMA flood regulations and town flood ordinances. If the proposed building were constructed on the ground, it would meet the 24-foot height requirements. The existing lot is a small non-conforming lot of record that was created well before modern zoning regulations in 1933 were implemented. Additionally, it is a corner lot and severely, nearly 80%, encumbered by two street line setbacks and a rear setback. In addition to this land-based hardship, several existing non-conformities are proposed to be eliminated or become less non-conforming, and that goes right into number 5. So the first one, A, this text is getting smaller and smaller. So street line setback, Sea Spray Road is a reduction. So the existing is 9.6 feet to the existing house, and that's being increased to 12.5 feet to the proposed house, so almost 3 feet there. So looking down Sea Spray Road, a 3 foot less vertical house there. Street line setback on Sea Lane, that's an elimination of that existing nonconformity. Existing, it's 19.1 feet and 20.1 feet to the existing garage, and proposed is 26.6 feet minimum to the steps. Not only the house, but the actual steps that we have on the front. So we're more than conforming to the 25 feet even to those steps. C, number of stories, elimination, right? We mentioned this before. We have existing 2 stories. We're going to a bona fide 1.5 story.
That's big.
Okay. Fourth, or D, is side yard setback on the north. We're eliminating the 2.9 feet to the existing shed. And eliminating that, and it's proposed 24 feet to the house where 12 feet is required. E, or the fifth one, the rear yard setback on the east. We're eliminating that. We're taking out that shed and that large garage. Eliminating that where it's 2.9 feet to the existing garage and 5.5 feet to the existing shed. And we're proposed 30.3 feet to the house. So where we're less than 3 feet and 5 feet, we're going to 30 feet on that side. So the last section is just conforming and harmony with the neighborhood. Obviously, we're going FEMA compliant. We have a code compliant septic system once that's approved. We have these drainage improvements, as were mentioned before. We have 5 reductions or eliminations of nonconformities, so we think we have a fairly strong application with this one. The end result, overall situation is much better for the community, much better for this particular property. Everything is upgraded, everything is up to code, and it's more conforming than the existing house.
And the sort of pathway that you've taken this evening is, without having legislative approval yet, you want to get this in front of us to see if we've had any issues with what we've been presented, and suggest that if we hear, next time we hear from you that legislature has approved this and there's significant things that have to be altered about the plan, do we see any deficiencies here? Do we have any problems with what you're doing? Is that the path we're taking?
Yes, because it sounds like your regulation allows you to not approve or close an application until you have that from legislature. I'm totally fine with that.
Yeah.
We just wanted your feedback so we have an opportunity to change. If you said, I hate this or that or something, then we know that we need to change something. But I think we went through the height, we went through all the reductions and eliminations of nonconformity thoroughly with you to show you that everything's the minimum necessary, minimum required. At least we feel that way, and Kip is right that we just would love to have your feedback and then just continue it to November.
I think the reductions of legal pre-existing nonconformity and the going from 2 stories to 1 story are fairly compelling, improved health and safety. I think my question was more about why couldn't you go a little further north and make the change of the garage, but I think you're saying that it's more amenable to the neighborhood to have the garage on the side than in the front.
Rather than a really wide curb cut there.
Yeah.
In cars, at that point, they would be forced to back up onto the street, and you have everybody walking to the beach in that location.
That's safer.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was my main question.
Here, all the cars are afforded the ability to pull forward into the garages, the 3 of them. Back out, we even have this turnout area over here. Back out and pull out, forward direction, safer.
Crushed stone?
Crushed stone, yep. The apron has to be paved, but everything on the property is crushed stone.
And the current driveway is pavement, so that's improving impermeability?
This is stone, I believe,
that's right, it's
going
over
to that
there.
garage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think
Never
there's a paved driveway.
Okay.
But you're eliminating the roof that was impervious.
Yeah, we have more roof
Yeah.
on the house.
Yeah.
We're limiting that roof and eliminating that roof, but we're within coverage. We've
Yeah.
maintained coverage and floor area on this project.
Okay, so unless Leslie Health Districts makes you change something from their perspective, and any conditions there, we would have as conditions here.
Of course.
I don't see any obstacles. I don't know if that's the appropriate way to respond.
At this point in time, yes, I think.
I mean, I was gonna ask about the neighbors. I mean, we heard about the
Oh, yeah.
neighbor who's
Oh, yeah,
not
we
so
didn't hear the
happy.
neighbors
Are
yet.
there any happy neighbors?
No.
I mean,
That's a really good
I will
question.
say that the neighbor who submitted the letter was here at the beginning of the meeting, and I indicated this was not going to be going forward, and therefore they left.
oh,
So they would like the opportunity to be heard on this.
Of course. Absolutely.
no, November.
Did they submit a letter?
The letter you have is from them, but they also wanted the opportunity to stand in front of you and be heard, right? I mean,
I didn't review the detailed letter because I didn't think we were going forward today either.
Is that the Deborah Belgo property owner? Is that one?
It's Lally.
Oh,
The
no.
one
64.
Mr. Lally was here tonight. He was here at 6:30 tonight. And I told him he
Oh,
was
this
not coming for a
one,
while.
is this it?
Can we read this out loud now or not?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, we're the owners of, we received this notification, this application, neighbors home at 70 Seaspray. We're the owners of 64 Seaspray, which is directly next to 70 Seaspray. We have enjoyed living in this house since 1974. An important feature of our home was the ability to see Long Island Sound. This view is of utmost importance to our family. We want a guarantee from the owner of 70 Seaspray that the new home they plan to construct would not block our lovely view. We realize that these owners must
Comply.
we
Must
realize the owners must comply with the building codes, however, it must not hinder the quality of our home. It would be helpful if these people would take the time to tape off their new home's actual location. We are not opposed to the request to tear down 70 Seaspray, but want the opportunity to see where the home they wish to build as a replacement home on the property will be and how it would affect our longstanding water view. If there is a question about this, kindly contact me, Thomas Lally.
Do you have it staked out where the new location's going to be?
It would have to be inside the existing house, but we can
Well, no.
paint on the existing house.
Some of it
You
would
mean
be.
this portion here?
Yeah. The
Yeah,
front,
we
where
can
the
do
front
that.
would be it.
But
I mean,
again, it's 6 feet, or what did I say, 3 feet is the difference?
Yeah, 3
What did I
feet.
say before?
You said at
3
least 3 feet, yeah.
So it's 3
Where did they
feet
live?
further
Can you
in.
just-
North
They're
of
up
there.
there.
Right there, right?
So that picture that we just
Yeah.
took
That
is-
was that picture?
It was looking,
That was their
we were standing about right here.
Oh.
So are they saying that they can see the water from their house or like in their yard?
Do you have that photograph?
Because I don't think you can actually see it from the house, but
The blue.
if,
Yeah.
the way that that house is situated, if you
can't see the
are
water
in
at
like
all.
their front yard,
Maybe
you
they,
definitely have a view.
Yeah,
Down
of the
through.
sound.
are they
I think
2
the
stories?
only place that they would actually see when we were there might have been
That's-
on the second floor.
Like this is the
And it would
water
have been
right
like
here.
looking up
So what I'm saying is I
through.
don't think that you can
There's
see
no
sort of
Some of the
from
time,
here.
it's not.
Wait, yeah.
Maybe,
That's what they're saying on the
Yeah.
second floor.
but if you're here, you know what I mean, like, and they move
You're
the
gonna
house
need to
this
describe
way,
where
or-
here is,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Well, sorry, if you were closer to the road, then, what I'm saying is, I don't, from this picture, it's impossible to tell what their view is. We would need to have them, maybe if they want to, they can submit
Well,
a
they
picture.
can come back and
And they
next,
can-
that-
and then
That's
next
my
week.
point of order. Why are we talking about views? Because I don't think views are part of
A legal thing.
Well, no, because you asked about the neighbors, and that's what the neighbors
No,
concerned
she
about.
did. She did.
I think the thing is,
I think.
I think the
Oh,
thing
I
is,
Yeah, right.
I think the thing is because this is going to be a continued case and the neighbor's not here and the neighbor plans to be here, that we hear from the neighbor next time
Right.
and that can affect your view.
But do we take water view into account?
It's not a legal right, no.
Okay.
But may I just suggest that maybe these people and the neighbors, maybe they could talk? It's always been helpful when the people actually talk to each
Certainly,
other.
and we could paint a line in the grass where the new house would be.
That would be helpful.
But if you can see, this is the picture that I took from that driveway, okay? So you can see at the end of
you can
Seaspray
see.
Road, you can see the
Sure.
water. This is the existing house right here. This is the house to the south. So you can see that house to the south is clearly closer to Seaspray Road. So by coming back and going up, they can't see over that roof right now. So their best view is by that flagpole where the water is. I'm
Could
sure
you make,
everybody
is,
can.
is it possible before next week, if this
Yeah.
stays a live issue, to make like a perspective sort of rendering about the existing viewpoint-ish
Yeah.
and the
And it-
proposed,
And we need to have that picture as exhibit 4.
so send that.
The very next thing I do is email it to
But I think the point is what we're saying
And
is,
can I just start, Joe, that's an actual picture as opposed to like a live shot or anything, right? So you don't need to take a screenshot, it's an actual
He's gonna-
already created photograph.
He's gonna
I just want to
email.
make sure you, nowadays with phones, you can do a lot of things, and I just want to make sure what we're getting is exactly what you just saw.
yes,
Right.
yes.
You don't think I would do
Not
that?
that you could, for the record, I asked.
Okay.
That record, but I was wondering if there are any other people who are in favor, or, I mean, are there any
Any
other
other
neighbors
letters?
that were asking?
They're very new to the neighborhood. They haven't had a chance to. They haven't even, I don't think, lived in this house, right?
I don't
just
think they
purchased
have.
it. They haven't even lived in the house. So they haven't had a chance to
Yeah.
go around the neighborhood and.
And the letters
ask
went
for
out, they just haven't, nobody's responded
Yeah,
except
this is
one.
the only letter we got. And, you know, they're not even really saying they're opposed to the project. They're just saying we're concerned about our view.
But I guess the thing is, they don't know where the house is, where exactly where the current house is, so they think it might be closer to the street. And this way, if you showed them where it actually is, it's not closer to the street, so it wouldn't block that view that Michelle pointed out towards the water by the street, that might be helpful. And I guess to Stephanie's point is if you showed it to them, they might be helpful.
And I think the rendering I'm suggesting wouldn't just be good for us, it'd be good for your northern neighbor.
Yeah,
If they could
put
look at that and
together,
say,
right?
hey,
Yeah,
listen,
can you
this
send me
is
that
what the
picture?
view.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Looks
the
like
rendering's
fun.
fine, but drawings are difficult to understand by a lot of people. I think the picture says the most.
Yeah.
And if you just basically show that building versus the new building and say, look, we're not the limitation, the neighbor is.
And Mark,
I think Dave
on
will
the-
take this picture that I just showed you and
Yeah.
superimpose the new house.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
And
what I
then
was-
I think the other thing too is, because people don't know, if you did spray paint or mark somewhere on the property where the new house is going to be, you'll see that it's further back.
We can do that.
Yeah.
You know, you read Lally's into the record, but there's another one from Lally that's maybe updated, and where he's making a different bit of a statement. The last paragraph, I don't think asking for an additional 5-foot setback from Sea Spray Road is unreasonable. That wasn't in the first letter, so
No.
there's another
What letter
in
is
there.
that?
Yeah, I
No,
was gonna
it's-
review that next. I have a copy of it. It was emailed to the town and
I
I
didn't-
think Craig
I don't remember.
forwarded it to me.
I don't remember.
No,
Again,
it's
I
not
don't
this.
think
I
we're.
don't think it's in here, but there you
What's the
go.
date on the new letter, Joe?
Does this have a date on it? It doesn't have a date.
on the email?
Do you know if we got,
It's not-
is this in our file or is it an exhibit?
It was
Oh, you
forwarded to
picked
me.
it up,
It's
so,
in the
all right,
She's
so it's
looking
not
at
an
the street, so
exhibit.
It's just
Okay.
part of the package.
Okay,
There's
so
no-
That's my
then-
copy of it. You can make that an exhibit and you can read it in.
Yeah.
This was.
It's not an exhibit, it's in the file.
It's in the
Oh, it is.
file.
It
Yeah.
does already exist in the file, because she
Okay.
gave from it in the record. You know,
Okay.
already.
But anyway, so, okay, I had, because I didn't think we were going over this application today, so. We were recently notified that 70 Sea Spray will be demolished and a new elevated FEMA compliant dwelling will be built in its place. As a 50-year resident of 64 Sea Spray Road, we are concerned that we will lose our water view with such a tall structure, basically 3 stories, with the current old lime SBA road back setting. What's OLSBA?
Oh, Lime Beach Association.
Oh, okay.
Lime Shores Beach.
Okay.
Oh, Lynn Shores
Road
Beach
setback
Association.
minimum and a 25-foot town required setback from Sea Spray Road. We will lose a good deal of our water view. While we realize that flooding is a big issue in our area and the new construction requires FEMA compliance, we would like to ask that the home be built at least 30 feet back from the old Lime SBA road setback on Sea Spray Road. I don't think asking for an additional 5-foot setback from Sea Spray Road is unreasonable. Thank you for your consideration. Thomas Lally, Michelle Lally, Cynthia Lally. I'm not sure what this old Lime SBA road setback is. It's not one of our regulations.
No, it's Old Line Shores,
Yeah.
and that's their association, the Old Line Shores, and I don't know. They have a set of rules, you know, I mean, they're an association, they have rules, I don't know what,
But that's not
Well,
our.
I'm reading that as it's a private road.
Yeah.
Therefore, it's, the setback there is from the Beach Association Road. That's how I'm reading that letter,
I see.
okay? So the road itself is narrower than the right of way. They are saying they want 30 feet away from the edge of the right of way, when the front setback under our regulations is 25. They're asking for 30 feet instead of 25 feet from the front yard.
But what I'm saying is, but if it's a rule that's related to the association, it's not our purview.
I don't even think they're saying it's an Old Line Association rule. They're
Just
saying-
worded it that way.
They're saying, it's 25 now, we think it's not unreasonable for you to ask for 30,
I see.
okay?
The current house from the edge of the road is just, from the edge of the road, not the property line, because I think they're referring to the road, the private road. But from the road to the existing house is just under, it's like 19.5 feet. The nearest from the edge of the road to the proposed house is about 22 and a half. So that's that 3-foot betterment. So maybe they mistook the application to mean that we are asking to go closer to the road. versus farther away without either understanding or looking at the plan.
Well, anyway, that's something
Sounds like it
they
was
can
useful.
address at the next hearing.
Of course.
Because that'll get clarified at the
And
next
from
hearing.
the picture that you showed me off your phone, the building would be down in that next lot that had more of a block of a view?
Yeah, it's more this way.
It's more this way, it's down there.
Correct.
Because, I mean, I think that's vaguely compelling to me. It's like, I'm looking for my view of the sound, and yours blocks it a little bit, the other one blocks it much more, and I don't think the new profile that you're building will exceed what's already blocked by the more southerly building on the property
Yeah,
south.
the view is down this grass and down the street to the
Right.
right.
I mean, that's looking from the ground level. Is it possible that they can see over your roof, over this
It's
roof?
it's a small cape, right?
What I think they're talking
From
about
their
when I was
second
there.
floor, you
I
know.
think they're on the second floor looking over the front porch roof. But I mean, if they even touched that house and lifted that up to be FEMA, they would be up above there anyway. Because the house is
So-
23 feet high now.
Yeah.
So, as soon as they touch that house, they're going to exceed 50%. I think the value of the structure was somewhere like 80,000. I mean, the value of the structure now
Yeah.
was so low, and the house is in such disrepair.
Well, I really think the neighbor's house to the south is a constraint, and that's a control. So,
Yeah.
But again,
Nice to
From that
come
line
out
of
with
but
sight.
that
again,
elevation.
I think we're spending a lot
Yeah,
of
it's
time.
Why are
on
we
it.
spending time
Yeah,
on
well,
this? It
they'll
seems
be
like
back.
It's a non-issue for
Yeah,
us.
yeah, this is something that's going to be addressed at the next hearing when the neighbors can be presenting
Yeah,
and we
that's
can
great.
discuss it. And if you can do anything before then to clarify any of these confusions with them, that would be a good idea, Stephanie's point.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll speak to the owner about that, and then we'll also do like an overlay for
Yeah.
you guys to see what it's
Just
gonna look
something so that if it really doesn't have a serious impact on your view, you can show that to us and them.
like. Right.
Okay, so,
So do we need a piece of paper to extend the?
yes, we're getting to that in a section, yeah. Does anyone, well, while the public hearing is open, does anybody here want to speak in favor of this application? And want to speak opposed to this application? And want to comment on this application? If no one else has any more comments or questions, would anybody like to make a motion to continue the public hearing for case 25-12C, 70 Seaspray Road, to the November 20th, 2025 regular ZBA meeting hall, Memorial Town Hall, 52 Lime Street, Old Lyme, Connecticut?
I'll make the motion.
That's
Second.
Steve
Stephanie.
and Stephanie. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? None. Abstaining? None. The motion passed unanimously 5-0-0.
Do they have to sign something?
No, they do not, because this is, you opened it tonight, the next hearing date was 35 days, you're within your 35-day period for opening. So,
We-
no
yeah,
consent on
so
the
it's
part of it.
Yeah, we don't have to. We could, but we don't have to. All right, so now we're zooming along to the
you.
regular meeting.
Bye, guys.
Thank you very much. It was a great thing.
All right, so anyway, to this, no old business, new business, the receipt and setting of public hearings for new applications. No new applications have been submitted for receipt today. Just to remind you that we did receive any new application that comes in before November 20th will be received at the November meeting, and as there's no meeting in December, the public hearing will be scheduled for January. So it's just, because that's our
Keep
65
in mind,
days.
there is one still pending application.
I'm just about to get to that.
There we go.
Yeah, I just wanted to get to the new applications first. And just a reminder, 41 Hartford Avenue was received in September and was scheduled for the November 20th ZBA meeting, so there will be one new case.
41 Hartford Ave?
Yeah. 41 Hartford Avenue will be one new case at the November meeting plus this continued case.
Who are the people on 41? What is it?
I don't have all the information with me here.
I don't know, I can look it up on GIS.
Okay, and then, so now with the chair update, hopefully everybody saw the ZBA annual report that was submitted to Michaela. Thank you, Michaela, for being patient, because I was supposed to do it early September digitally.
Did you email it to us?
Yeah,
Well, she sent it out, just the submission to the annual report.
Was that this week?
no, it was the end of September.
Oh, yeah, all right. Yeah,
Okay.
I thought it was something new. I'm
I
like,
just want to remind people, the municipal elections are November 4th, and the terms of 4 commission, alternates and members will be expired by November 18th. So anyone who's new needs to be sworn in at the town clerk's office by November 20th. And since I will be away on November 20th meeting, Vice
I didn't
Chair.
know this. Well, I might be away too.
Well,
so
I know,
just
but I
saying.
have it. If you're here, you're the acting chair. But if you're not here, Stephanie, as secretary, has agreed to be the backup acting chair.
Oh, we did
There you go,
I?
Steph.
Yes.
I guess I am.
Steph, you've got to cheer for East Lyme to lose.
Oh, I don't want East Lyme to lose, but I want you here.
But anyway,
Yeah, no, it's all timing and.
But-
Yeah, whatever.
Little
Will
ways,
be.
like a
Yeah,
day
but
notice,
anyways.
you know, I don't know.
You'll-
So,
you might
If you-
so Nancy, only the new people.
It might be
can
good for
sworn
Sylvia
in
to be
after
here.
new elected officials,
yes.
and the existing
But if you're-
don't
if
have
you're
to.
reelected,
You
you
realize you have to be sworn in too.
So, okay, everybody has to. be
Everybody new has to be sworn in
By the 20th.
by the 20th.
Like,
Everyone elected has to
Everyone-
be
everyone
here, new or
elected.
not.
So we can just show up and the town clerk will swear us in.
You don't, your term isn't expired until 2026.
Mine
You're
expires.
running, but it's staggered.
Huh?
So your term expires this November, your term expires next November.
Because we don't
So
have
you
municipal
don't-
elections next year.
Okay,
Right,
right,
so.
Because it's only every other year elections.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So you're
it's Steve's position and all 3 alternates. And so anyway, so
all right.
since I'm not going to be here and
4 alternate, oh, the current alternate.
all,
But he's the, who's our alternate?
Brian,
Brian. Brian is not running again.
no, I know that.
So us 2 alternates are running.
She's not running as an alternate.
Right, exactly.
Okay, I
So
guess
there's-
I'm not trying to get into who's running for what. I'm just trying to say
Well,
there
I'm the only
are 4
alternate that's running.
running for re-election.
And then there's 3 new ones. I'm the only old alternate.
And one of them is in there?
There's 4 people running.
Right.
There's 5 people running for 3 alternate positions. You're the only one who's running for re-election.
Right. That's
Okay,
what
but
I'm
anyway,
saying. Yeah, right.
but
From the
what I'm
5,
trying to say is, since I'm not going to be here and we're going to have acting chairs, and I'm requesting that my alternate be whoever is reelected who has the most experience and or who has taken some online courses or at least at a minimum has read the ZBA guidance document for applications. So as the chairs, you're going to designate who's going to be seated in my place.
So I'm gonna go rock, paper, scissors, you okay with that?
But but anyway, hopefully, I will, as the chair, send a welcome email to anybody, and I will tell them about the training and the guidance document. But so hopefully someone will get there before then. Thank you for coming.
So Kim, I'm available for whatever discussion you may feel necessary as well.
And I'll draft a template document that you can modify.
I mean, last time you left me with a beautiful pile, so I'll trust you'll do that again. I mean, honestly, this.
And
time
you
of
have
year,
Eric
it's gonna come down in
and
the
Sylvia.
next 2
And
weeks.
remember, the only thing we have is Joe's leftover application and 1 new one, so it's not gonna be that big.
Yeah.
a night
Okay.
for it, okay?
And I got,
Can I ask, just from the, because I'm not sure of this, the audio recording of today,
Yeah,
is that available?
Yes,
It
yes.
should be made available to whoever the new members promptly.
we put it online.
The actual recording will be available?
The
Yes.
recording is available online
How quickly?
tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
That,
look,
The election is not until whenever.
I have to say,
that's so fancy. Didn't realize.
you might not have read the ZBA annual report, but it talks about what a great job that Craig has done. He now has all the meeting materials posted beforehand, and he has the audio recordings posted on the website. So it's really good. And I also thank you as well, and we also thank Eric as well, and everyone on the board as well. Anyway, so thank you.
No,
for
Craig does a
that.
really lovely job. We're really lucky. to have
Okay,
him.
so anyway,
Nancy, one other thing logistically, so that my understanding, the swearing needs to happen by November 20th, and the meeting is the November 20th?
Yes,
So, to the extent this is helpful, anybody running it might be good to let them know to watch the video and look at the materials.
I'm going to
So
send
it's not such a-
once the election happens, I know who's elected, I will send an email out talking about the training, what needs to happen, and if we need them, how they can get up to speed. So I will take care of
Yeah, it'll
that.
just be a short time frame. So I just,
Well, the election is
The election's
2
the
weeks
4th.
before that.
so we have from the 4th until the 20th to get them up to speed.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of time, but
It's not.
But I will email them communicate with them as soon as possible after the election. Once
okay,
it's decided.
I will be asking for whoever is seated that isn't currently here to be making a representation on the record
Yep,
that they have substantially familiarized themselves with the record.
I'll put that in a template.
So if you need language from me, let me know.
I think we have that from the past, but
We do have one of the alternates sitting back here, so.
Perfect.
She's running.
yes.
Yeah.
All right, so anyway, that was the updates, and the chair updates. And so there's no correspondence and announcements. Oh, you wanted to add something to discuss?
I have
on
a
this?
question. At what point would we have to recuse ourselves? That if we talk to the owner, we're friends with the owner, is there any rules on that?
Yes.
Are
There's
there?
plenty of stuff out there. It's not necessarily the cleanest black and white scenario. Ultimately, whether or not you recuse yourself is your decision. Someone can't force your recusal. What I usually recommend is if there's a question, let's have a conversation about it. That's my best advice because things are nuanced.
You mean between the individual and you,
So
the lawyer,
for the
not as a
hypothetically,
board?
say you feel like you may have a question, give me a call and we can talk about whether or not that's where that threshold is. Because whatever I tell you, change one slight thing and it might change the opinion. So that's why I say that. So I offer that to anyone at any point in time. Generally speaking, you want to think about if it's going to, you're either predisposed to a decision because you really like that person. That's my grandmother that took care of me. I really want to give her something she wants. Or if you're privy to information that you may not otherwise be privy to, you want to make sure that's on the record. Or if you have any sort of financial incentive or stake in the matter. So just knowing someone may not be enough, but we have to talk a little bit more than.
Right.
It's a small town, a lot of
Well, that's
people
what I'm
know
saying,
each
we don't
other.
know everybody.
Everybody knows
That's-
everybody.
Yeah, I don't mean, I didn't, if I said that, I didn't just know them, but
We'd all be.
But if
if
there's
you're
something to gain.
predisposed is the thing.
There
If you're
isn't any
predisposed
automatic
because,
recusal
you know.
if you're one of the abutting neighbors, or is there?
a budding neighbor.
If you're an abutting neighbor
You're
and
impacted.
involved in the case,
That's a big deal.
you're notified to respond.
I want to say that there's no if you're
not
the
necessary.
applicant.
Yeah.
Right, that's a bright line rule that I can say. If you're the engineer that's working on the application, and making a financial incentive, then that's probably a bright line rule. Just being a neighbor, maybe not. So that's why I say it gets so fact specific.
Well,
I'm available, let's talk about it. I may ask you questions that we don't want to say in the public hearing necessarily. So
And
And
I think
I'm
you
not one of my neighbors, and I didn't feel like I was a conflict, I was really listening to.
Yeah,
And when you bring
No,
it,
I had
I
the
mean,
same.
go by the zoning regs,
yeah.
you know what I mean?
So ultimately, it's the member's decision,
Okay.
right? So I'm happy to advise the member and give, if there's concerns that I have, and hopefully we get to the same place, we have an agreement about where the risk is and so on and so forth. If there's any doubt whatsoever, recusal isn't a bad idea, just so that you don't taint a potential appeal, like you don't offer an appeal up, even if the court's gonna say, no, that's not a conflict, or you didn't need to recuse yourself, there's always a risk, right? So if there's any doubt, you can do that. I mean, no one's gonna say you can't recuse yourself if you feel like there is.
I think another point that you made that's really important too is that if you have any knowledge per se that's not in the public record that you're using to inform your decision, you need to bring it up and put it on the record. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you have to do that during the public hearing.
During the public hearing,
Yeah,
You
exactly.
can't do it during deliberation.
Yes, exactly. I
Because
think-
then the applicant
That's
gets
the
response.
very-
Yeah, I know, I think we say that no new information
No,
after
right,
the closed
that's
public
so
hearing.
nice.
And then we drum that into everyone's head.
Right.
But it means also when you go visit the properties, if someone comes up to you, say, sorry, I can't talk to you outside the public hearing. People do that all the time too, say, sorry, I'm just looking at the property, but I can't discuss this with you at this time.
Yeah, and any discussion has to be in the public hearing.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so it's not, I won't talk to you ever. It's
No, I know,
it
but-
has to be on the record. No, just because,
Yeah.
just in case they feel like they're being not heard, they will be heard, it just has to be in a proper form.
I tell people that, sorry, we can only talk in the public hearing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the other thing is, if you think that there is a conflict or you're recusing yourself or not, that should also be done in the public record. So let's put it all out in the open, because theoretically, if someone doesn't, you say, I have this relationship, and the person doesn't have an opposition or say anything, theoretically they're waiving any kind of objection to it.
So you'd wait until the public hearing to recuse yourself?
Well, I
Or
would
what
state on the
would be-
record during the public hearing, I'm recusing myself from this application. You don't necessarily need to state why.
And if
But
you're
you would do
not
that
re-
in advance, just because you're good friends with them or
I mean, I
whatever?
suppose you could, but I think it's gonna come up if you're physically sitting here, it's gonna, and you're
Well,
a
right, but I
member.
would think I wouldn't be here if I'm recusing myself.
Well, there's
I feel
nothing
like I
that, there's
shouldn't
nothing
be.
that prevents you from being in the room.
No,
you're
I
just
just
not a
feel
board
like
member.
it'd be.
You wouldn't participate. You wouldn't
In the
participate.
deliberation.
Right.
Even in the open hearing, they would
So
participate. I
as a
thought
member
they,
of the public, you theoretically could. Would I advise that you do? Probably not, because
Yeah.
you're muddying the waters. Again,
Yeah.
why risk an appeal
yeah,
when you don't need to?
yeah.
I don't think you're technically muzzled. You're a citizen with free speech rights as well. If you wanted to speak, I would say, please sit there so that there's no
There we go.
Yeah.
Sitting at the table creates a sense of your,
fairness.
You're involved.
so if you want to go sit in the audience and say, I'm exercising my First Amendment right as a neighbor or as a public citizen, here's my personal view, this is not,
Yeah.
my capacity as a ZBA member,
Yeah.
that's okay. You don't lose your First Amendment rights because you're a member. But you need to sit out there and sort of say, I'm doing this in my capacity as private citizen, not in my capacity as ZBA member.
And there's several online trainings that are specifically about that topic, about what it was this recusal or whether you should recuse yourself. So you can, Stephanie, Sylvia's a reference, but there's also some training that you could do if you want to learn a little bit more. But that's a really good question. Good, thanks for that discussion. All right, if there's nothing else, would anybody like to have any amendments, the proposed amendments to the September 18th ZBA minutes? Nope. If that's the case, would anybody like to make a motion to approve the September 18th, 2025
I so move.
ZBA minutes? That was Kathleen.
Was I seated? No, I can't do that because I wasn't
Oh.
seated.
Oh, I'll move it then.
All
You
right.
weren't seated?
No, I don't
But
think
you
I
were
was.
here.
Kayla was seated.
You
Well,
can't.
you don't need to be seated to approve
Right.
minutes, you just need to be present.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was present and.
Okay.
So
Then I
Kathleen,
will.
Yeah.
No,
You can speak. Yeah.
yeah, but only 5 people can vote, right?
Oh, right, I'm not seated
I
tonight.
wasn't here, so.
Right.
So
I
Steve has to,
So
can't
that's fine.
vote on it.
If you weren't present, then that is fine.
Yeah,
So
but it's only 5 people can vote.
Yes.
Okay, so but the 5 present were Kathleen, Michaela, Stephanie, Nancy, and Kip.
no
So
amendments?
when we,
I'm not seated tonight, does that
But-
matter?
no, but you were
it doesn't matter.
here for the
For
meeting.
minutes.
For the minutes, it's okay. So Kathleen made the motion. Who seconded it?
Michaela.
Michaela. She's not seated, but she can still make a motion?
Yes, because
Okay,
this
all right.
is the minutes.
Okay. I know she can vote.
If the rules were different, you could almost never approve minutes.
Okay, so that was, all those, the 5 members that were attending the meeting, would all those in favor vote?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None. Abstaining? None. Motion passed unanimously 5-0-0. And would anybody like to make a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Kip,
Second.
Steve, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
8:49.
9. Abstaining? None. Motion passed unanimously 5-0-0. And it was like, what'd you say it was?
But we're still.
8:49.
8:49.